Testing, testing. All right. All right, should be working now. Testing, testing, everything working now. I don't know why the fucking OBS just rerouted my mic off of my mixer, so I don't know. Everything, you guys hear me loud and clear now? It should be. I see the mic picking up. What's up, everybody? What a fun start to the show. It's a blast. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this when it happened, but I wasn't doing many shows and it kept getting pushed back. But it's really creepy what the InfoWars did. What the new InfoWars, the Onion-led InfoWars with Tim Heidecker did a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it yet. It kind of seemed like it went under the radar. But in the landscape that we're in right now with, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the left celebrating his assassination, which I think they would do the same thing if Alex Jones died. I think if Alex Jones was, got Charlie Kirked, there would be a lot of leftists celebrating. I think if I died, I think many right-wing figures died, there would be left-wing celebration. So in the light of that, it's pretty disgusting. If you haven't seen it, we'll watch it real quick. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Ooh, all good. All good. Yeah, I was pork chop maxing today. I'm getting those pork chops in. I got some really thin ones too, man. They were really good. It was something about when they're really thin, you can really, really get them good. All right, where are we at here? So Alex Jones is dead. So these lovely human beings at The Onion decided to do a parody where Alex Jones gets killed, blows up in his car. And first of all,
Leroy.45 long
what's up,
became
Leroy?
a member. At
Thank you.
Leroy.45 long celebrates 3 months of membership. USA emoji, USA emoji, USA emoji, saluting face emoji, saluting face emoji, saluting face emoji, clinking beer mugs emoji, clinking beer mugs emoji, clinking beer mugs emoji.
Cheers, brother. Thank you. Thank you for the 3 months, Leroy. You're the man, bro. Thank you. So yeah, I think it's, I don't know. It's not funny. That's the worst part. Again, like if they were able to make it at least a little bit funny, it'd be more excusable. But here's, in case you missed it, this is this weird bit they did where Alex Jones gets killed.
Big story we want to get to right now, and this is exclusive. These are stories.
By the way, they're still doing the show weekly, I believe, every Thursday. So there's been a couple episodes and like just, I don't know, it's all falling under the radar at this point.
From other news outlets. But one thing Emergency is going to be the leader in is breaking news that we've reported on. I've got a terrific team out there, producers and researchers finding the truth, getting to the bottom of things. This one pertains to Alex Jones. And I'm going to break this. This is big news. This is going to be on every CNN and all the other fake news sites. They're going to be running with this wild. They're going to be running wild with this story. We have leaked video now revealing that Alex Jones popped like a balloon in his car 2 months ago. That's right, folks. Alex Jones, the Alex Jones that we have come to know over the years, is dead. He has passed away. InfoWars has obtained shocking cell phone footage that appears to show disgraced broadcaster Alex Jones popping like a balloon.
Dude, of all the ideas you could come up with, this is the idea? That some Alex Jones gets assassinated? I mean, at least they're not putting it that way. Like, oh, okay. But I mean, it's clear when you watch the video they put together here, which in my opinion, it's just probably footage of Alex that somebody filmed of him in his car, and then they just added the end. They added a little AI to create the joke. It's such a funny joke, guys. Let's check it out.
Balloon in the front seat of his own vehicle on the morning of May 1st, 2026. The 16-second clip, which we will show you, folks, so stay tuned. We have the footage. No one has this. This is exclusive. So if you want to find it, you want to watch it, you're all going to have to come to Emergency. The 16-second clip was delivered via secure tip line at 11:48 p.m. on June 30th. It is being published here for the first time. Let's just show the video here, and I can talk you through it.
Alex Jones in his fucking car right now.
So there's a lot of things we don't know about this video here. We don't know who the person filming this is. Shit. Now, there's a thing that Alex Jones has been known to do.
I wonder, I'm pretty sure that's AI. Or I wonder if they went out of their way to film this and like set up a fucking, I don't know. Something like this is really easy to create with AI.
Many of his videos are from his car, so we can confirm that this is a common characteristic of Alex. We verified that the Chevy Suburban was registered to Free Speech Systems, which is his holding company. Look, pause right there. This Alex Jones, you can tell by the back of the head, the ear, the color shirt, bald man, unable to grow hair on the top of his head. There's a violent, sudden impact from inside the car. Essentially, the body of Alex Jones disintegrating instantly, exploding out, breaking the window. We're going to keep playing this as I speak through it, but it is shocking video.
Alex Jones in the fucking car right
confirming.
No, Palm Beach, real Palm Beach Peter, I don't believe so. I've looked for any sort of response. You know, the X search fucking sucks. And I searched and I looked for a long time to find Alex responding to this, and he didn't. And I think he's at the point where he doesn't want to give them any more publicity. But I just think it's really interesting that of all the fucking funny bits they could do to make fun of Alex and to make fun of InfoWars, they just automatically default to him getting murdered. And it's weird because, like, if it was a different time when things weren't so crazy and there wasn't the legit risk of people being murdered for having the wrong political opinion, a la Charlie Kirk, and Alex Jones is definitely somebody at risk of the same fucking shit. Like, maybe I could see it being kind of funny, but then again, you still have to make it funny. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat. Has there been any piece of this yet that you've seen that we've watched so far that has been remotely close to funny? Like, where is the joke in here? Oh, Alex Jones got murdered. That's the joke. Again, if it wasn't for the fucking left just loving the idea of people on the right wing being killed, it's so fucking disgusting. To be honest, I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know how you do this, and there's not a huge backlash. And like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You think this is fun? You think somebody being killed is funny?
Something quite shocking that 2 months ago, Alex Jones exploded. Now, first question is, who the hell's on Alex Jones Live? Who's the guy who's broadcasting every day to diminish?
Yeah, the voice impression's not even funny. The voice impression's not even funny. Like that. I mean, if you find it funny, okay. Well, I mean, it's to each their own. But the impression's not even funny. This is just, again, there's nothing funny here.
To a diminished audience. You look at his numbers back when he was on InfoWars compared to where he is now. It's pathetic. It's bad. He's not been able to maintain his audience. And we're partly responsible for that because we vanquished him off the air.
You're not responsible for that. Actually, I think his numbers are probably fine. He's got his diehard audience. Even if he's like not going massively viral, he's got his diehard audience. You just saw what he did with Sneeko. That went viral. And yeah, I mean, what are we talking about here? The people that vanquished him are the social media companies that banned him off of everything.
Questions remain. Who is this Alex Jones? I believe this is an imposter. This is I don't know if it's a clone, but it's somebody that they managed to fool the world into believing is Alex Jones. Why? We're going to get into the why. Why is this happening? I want to get into the video, the source of the video here, because we got some metadata on this. The video was created on May 1st, Central Time, on the same day that a man claimed to be Alex Jones relaunched his show under his new banner, the Alex Jones Network, or Alex Jones Live.
But I think the idea here is like they killed him off. Like, so that's the joke, you know. He's dead because we took his show and we own the show now.
Today to listen iPhone as a recording device and contains GPS coordinates placing the camera on a residential street on the south side of Austin. Now, this video was uploaded to X that afternoon by an account with no followers and no prior posts. So it was a new account. This is kind of what caught my eye here. The account was suspended 40.
Okay. The first time I laugh is that they actually have the documents camera. they put, okay. All right. Okay. Not really that funny, but okay. Insider knowledge if you watch the show. It's like, oh, there's the document camera.
7 minutes later, look at 47.
What's up, Leroy?
Leroy.45 long super chatted $10. If anything ever happens to Alex, well, okay sign tubes be censoring.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if anything would happen, dude. Like, look what happened. Charlie Kirk got murdered. What happened? A bunch of people grifted off of it and just basically muddied up the waters to make money. And what have we achieved? What have we gained? Nothing. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Didn't think about who's in charge.
Alex Jones in fucking
Alex does need to stop driving and filming himself while he's driving. He does need to stop doing that.
It was viewed roughly 1,800 times, downloaded by an unknown number of viewers, and then reposted to at least 3 other platforms. So the account exists for one single day, gets taken down, and then we get it because we have people on the inside. We have people that know about, that work on at these companies that know that we are the pipeline to information. We are the pipeline to the truth. And they get this to us. This came to me. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of ideas about what's going on here. First of all, where did the car go? Why did nobody else see this? We are confident confirming. There's no question about it. Alex Jones, we've known and have battled over the years.
He lost the impression for like a split second there.
Is no more. He's not on this earth. He is gone, what we believe, to the underground. We believe he's going to hell.
Yeah, Linchpin, people always talk about his cinema show. Like he does a show like Cinema Now or something. I forget the name of it, but I think he does like reviews of movies or some shit. People say that's like very funny, but I've never seen it. I don't know. I'm sure there's something from Tim and Eric that I thought was funny back in the day. I'm sure he's capable of being funny, but this ain't it.
And we have some more evidence to prove that. But we want to get into this a little more, a little deeper. We have with us calling in right now a forensics expert, somebody I've known for a long time, someone I know and trust. Dr. Lester Reeve is going to be joining us because he's taking a look at this, and he's had his eyes on this for a couple of days now.
I'm giving it a shot. I'm still waiting. Like, is there going to be a joke at the end that's funny?
And has some insights onto what we're looking at here and how to verify the severity of it and the authenticity of it, and get his perspective on what he thinks happened here. So we're going to go to Dr. Lester Reeves right now.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Doctor, just to give a little context, can you describe your background, your expertise in forensics, and
I do have to admit, there was one segment on this episode that was funny, and it was when they were talking about the Epstein files, and it was a little running joke where they're like, yeah, the Epstein, it goes all the way to the top, but not all the way to the top, just right before the top, implying like, everybody's got something to do with Epstein but Trump. That was a little bit funny. It was a funny angle. I'll give him that.
And make it brief.
Yes, I have 30 years of law enforcement experience in the San Diego and LA coroner's office. I have
On Cinema, yeah, that's the name of the show. Ritual Sound System. Thank you.
a master's degree in forensic science, PhD in
I've never seen it.
human
I should check it
behavior.
out.
Fascinating. Well, Doctor, you've been able to look at this video. What are some of the things that stand out to you as what happened, and what was it? Well, just speak to the video and what your impressions of it were.
Well, as far as the video is concerned, it's pretty obvious what happened. He was blown to smithereens by an explosive device, essentially a bomb placed inside the vehicle, probably the seat.
So this you believe this is an impact coming in from the inside, not from inside his body, but from inside the vehicle?
It's very unlikely that it would be from inside of his body. You can never rule out any possibility, but that particular scenario would be very unlikely. It's probably a explosive device set inside the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. If that was the case, wouldn't you see more of a general impact, radius coming out from there that I guess you need other angles.
I understand what you're saying. A well-developed and sophisticated device can be very localized in its explosive impact. And it appears that this particular device would be in the seat of the bottom portion of the seat, or in the back, I would say.
Like, I don't know how much more to play of this because this is just a complete waste of fucking time. There's no joke here. The joke is like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if somebody murdered Alex Jones? Like, maybe if you're a fucking deranged leftist that, wants to see people assassinated for having the wrong political opinion, maybe you would find that funny. But this is like murder porn. This is like what would left-wingers love to see? Oh, they'd love to see Alex Jones getting murdered. Okay, well, that's our next bit. But we forgot. We've got one crucial detail. We forgot to make it funny. I'll let it go a little longer, but it's just like, what the fuck is the point of this, dude? I thought the point of the show was to satirize the parody InfoWars and actually be funny. I thought that was the point. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point?
More likely in the back of the seat. And it's very common to see explosions in cars, in mob hits and that kind of thing. However, this particular device was localized to the interior of the car. So it's just it's much more sophisticated.
And much more targeted surgical strike on Jones.
That's a good way to put it. Surgical.
Now, you have I know this. You're not wanting to speculate. Do you have any theories that you've developed after seeing this video about why something like this would have happened to him, or what the purpose of eliminating him would be?
Well, he was a controversial figure. Some people liked him, some people loved him, and a whole lot of people disliked him and even hated him to the point where they may have wanted to essentially kill him.
Seek revenge.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Adinacrad 6306 super chatted $1.41. The joke is them they wasted all dollar buying InfoWars.
I don't know, man. It might end up being, if they keep doing this sort of shit that the left will love, especially like the far left, the really crazy side of the left, they're probably gonna throw money at them, dude. I'm sure they've gotten a ton of people to because their whole thing is like, sign up at our website, become a member, blah blah blah, like everybody else, the same business model. Yeah, that's clearly who they're appealing to, and those people will support people who just on the fact that they're pushing the same politics or the same ideology or just hating on the right people, they will throw money at you like crazy. They're very supportive.
Now, we look at the conspiracy here, the cover up. What does it tell you that this happened nearly 2 months ago? And
but look, what money? I mean, they're selling shit. They're selling their fucking products here. Support our mission. Become a member, right? I'm telling you, they're going to get a bunch of lefties to come in here and spend money. Who knows how much they're going to spend? They're getting views, 381,000. Let's see what their last episode was, because this is not even the last episode. Let me see. Their last episode, was it a live? 118K views, and they're doing it live too, so they're probably getting memberships on YouTube. I don't know if they have super chats on. I'm sure the views will fall off as people kind of get bored of it, but again, like, so much of like being successful in this line is just grifting to the right crowd. So once, they become, because I guarantee you Tim Heidecker is going to be praised to the end of they're going to, like, all the left-wing sites are going to praise him and how amazing this is and how we're sticking it to Alex Jones, and then that's going to bring in all these people to support him and send him money because it's the right thing to do politically. It doesn't even matter if it's funny or if it's good content. It's just like, they're on my team, so we have to support them. But I don't know, man. Let's see what this is. This is why Big Pharma is terrified of fish milk. they're trying to do different things. Like I think what they're doing is like this last episode I was just playing. What is it, like an hour and 10 minutes? And it's not all Tim Heidecker. Like they got a bunch of other people doing bits and shit. Like the beginning of it is that dude who wrote that song. What's this guy's name? Yeah, everybody's got to have a countdown. I guess I got to do, whenever I do countdowns, people just fucking complain. But everybody else does a countdown. Look at this 20-minute fucking countdown. Half of the shows of I'm going to start doing these countdown guys. I'm sorry. Apparently you have to do them because that's how, because YouTube doesn't really share your shit out when you schedule it. It waits until it goes live. So you really, that's like a good way to build up your audience. So I'm going to have to start doing this shit. So yeah, this guy, the guy that wrote the song, you know, I'm angry. We've had enough of these people. That guy, because that guy's always been associated with Tim. And it's just a bunch of different bits. Like they got this little bit here. Like most of the show is not even Tim Heidecker, I don't think. Or he's all right here till the end. So yeah, I mean, I imagine they're doing well, man. And if they keep, you know, doing murder porn to please the leftists, you know, maybe the next episode will be, you know, Trump being murdered, or maybe after that it'll be JD Vance, or who knows? Maybe they'll start just whacking off all the right wing influencers, you know. Crazy. I think it's fucking disgusting because, again, this is how a lot of these people are on the left. They would cheer on Alex Jones getting murdered the same way they did Charlie Kirk.
45 long super chatted $2. Lefties ain't got no dollar though. Lards don't work.
It's not true, unfortunately, Leroy. They do have money. That's not true. They have money. You know, a lot of them have good jobs. You know, they're in the fucking system, bro. Like if you're like me, my politics would make it hard if I went back to corporate America. I would probably not get a lot of jobs if people knew what my politics were. Okay. But if you're a lefty fucking, you know, woke fucking lunatic, you fit right in. You fit right in at the universities. You fit right in at the corporations. You're in a different world than a lot of right-wing people are. And it's not across the board. Obviously, there's exceptions, and I'm overgeneralizing, but it would be a mistake to say they don't have money. They do. They absolutely have money. Yeah, I mean...
Here, things that Big Pharma doesn't want us to know.
Honestly, this one is funnier than anything Tim Heidecker is doing. Here's the one about Epstein. Is this the one about Epstein? They're like Epstein. That one is kind of funny because like the Epstein controversy goes all the way to the top. Well, not all the way to the top because it's, of course, they're doing it, you know, making fun of Trump supporters because it's like we all said, oh, Epstein is connected to the government, but not Trump. And that's, you know, another thing that came out today. We'll be reacting to some clips from Rogan. JD Vance was on there today, and I wonder if what Rogan really wanted was to get Trump back on. Because remember, there were plans. They made it when Trump first got elected. They were like, we're going to go to Mar-a-Lago and do a show. And I think Joe really thought he was going to get Trump back on. But then once Trump got elected, he's like, no, sorry. I'm too big time now to do your show. And yeah, I can't do it, but we'll send little JD over to do it. And it's just weird. It seems like JD Vance has like no influence over the administration. Because like you'll see the shit he talks about is all the shit that like, you know, old school MAGA, old school America First would like to hear. But yet the administration is not going in that direction at all. So you just wonder, is he playing a game, which a lot of people think he is. He's trying to position himself to be the guy for the next election. So he's just saying what people want to hear the way Trump did with no intention of actually following through. Or if he just really has no fucking say in the administration and he's just sitting there just along for the ride. But yeah, let's get to that. Let's go ahead with, I mean, again, I'll just say it's fucking disgusting. In this time and age when assassinations are a real threat to a lot of people, especially right-wing influencers. In an age where we just saw what happened to fucking Charlie Kirk. To make a joke like that is pretty disgusting, especially since it's not funny. If you made it funny in any way, I would be like, okay, yeah, it's kind of fucked up, but it is funny. I can't even say that. I can't even give it the oh, well, at least it's funny line, because it's not. There's like not a single part of it that's funny. All right, so let's get to the JD Vance. Some of this stuff's going to be out of order here, but he talks about the Iran war, calls out the neocons, which is funny because it's like, okay, well, that's great. You're calling out the neocons, but they're still dictating our fucking foreign policy and getting us into stupid wars. Calls out the Epstein files, admits that they really screwed up on the Epstein files. He even says Epstein was connected to high level people within the American government and the Israeli government and he says all the right stuff, but it's still, I don't think it's enough to get people to not think that they're trying to cover it up. But here's one that I think is a good point, if only he meant it, which is like everybody, has this idea that like there's only two options. There's either like this sort of crony capitalism that we're in now, or there's socialism. And it's like, no, there isn't another answer. And that answer is to actually have real capitalism, not this corrupt version of capitalism. And actually, like, we can actually make things better for people without going full socialist. The problem is we have a corrupt version of capitalism that is just not good for regular people. It gives you very little options. You're basically become a slave of corporations. That's like the capitalism we have has been captured by corporations, and the regular person's really only option in life is to become a slave to corporations. Yeah, you can start a business, you can do all this or that, but can you really succeed? You know how many businesses I've seen lately that are just pop up and they're gone within months? Just like it's nearly impossible. You can do it, but you got to have an amazing product that you can upcharge the fuck out of, because, you got to pay them taxes. You can't just make a decent profit, because after taxes, you're going to go broke. So you got to like really rip everybody off. And yeah, I wish we could get back to that. To like, no, we don't need socialism. Okay. What we need is true capitalism. We need to fix the corruption. And, we need to fix government. Government needs to work for the people and not just for fucking corporations and foreign interest, which is where we're at right now. If you solve that, you could actually have a good version of capitalism that actually works for people. But I don't know if we could solve it, because if we get socialism, right, that's not going to fix it, because you still have a corrupt government at the heart of everything. You still have all these corrupt corporations they're all for socialism for some reason. It's weird, right? It's because we're not going to get shit. Even with socialism, we're going to get fucked over, because you can't just give more power and money to this corrupt class and expect they're going to take care of you. No, they're going to continue being corrupt and continue ripping everybody off. Let's listen to old JD.
One of the things I talk about in the book is like there is a Christian idea of political economy.
And I know, guys, nobody in the chat trusts JD, right? He danced around how Pam Bondi botched the release of the Palm Beach Pete files. Palm Beach Pete. And mildly flirted with the agencies that finance Palm Beach Pete's operation. Yeah, we got all the clips, man. We'll be playing that in a second, Granola.
That's actually been lost.
But before we do it, links are in the description if you want to support the show. Smash the thumbs up. We got 35. That's pretty good. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't, smash the thumbs up. Helps the show get out there. And Discord is the link is in the description as well if you want to join the Discord. Super chats are always open, boys, if you want to join the conversation. Thank you, guys.
In American politics, where it's like we think of it as libertarianism, the hardcore free market, versus socialism or communism. And there actually is a third way that has existed in pretty much all Christian economic thinking going back 2,000 years ago, which is that, yeah, extreme wealth inequality does create problems, but you still got to have private property. You still have to have a state that protects private property rights. And there's a way to balance these things that I think we've sort of lost in our country a little bit. And when I like, okay, let me play devil's advocate with the DSA, because I think that their ideas are crazy, and I think that you're right. They will lead to a very totalitarian place. I'm not defending a single thing that they say, particularly their hatred of ice cream. What I am,
I'll give my opinion on socialism. In a perfect world, socialism could actually probably be pretty cool. It could be pretty decent. The problem is we don't live in a perfect world. The problem is all governments become corrupt. And if you have corrupt government, which you want, I mean, all the left will say how corrupt our government is, but yet they want to give them more power and more taxes and all this. It's never going to work. Now, if somehow we manage to have a fucking amazing, not corrupt government that's actually doing the job of looking after and making the citizens' lives better, yeah, socialism probably could be okay. You could probably have a version of it that's, not too terrible. We're not going to get that version of it, guys. We're going to get the terrible fucking version.
Flatman official super chatted
What's
$2.
up, Flatman?
Trump did a good job twisting that knife, bro. GG.
Twisting the knife, yeah. I really think Joe wanted Trump back on, and they just said like, "Oh no, I can't do it. We'll just send you JD. He's got nothing to do anyway."
But what I am saying is, and maybe this is just sort of the way my mind works, I tend to be a little bit more empathetic. Why are young people attracted to socialism in 21st century America? One of the best interviews that Charlie Kirk ever gave, it was right before he died. It was an episode that he did with Tucker Carlson where he talked about the fact that if you don't give young people a stake, if you don't give them ownership, if you don't give them a sense of the American dream and of possibility in the future, they're going to become socialists. Like if you have a zero-sum environment for a 25-year-old in this country, they're going to start to say the only way for me to get anything is to take away from somebody else. So we have to get away from like the zero-sum thinking. I think that.
Yeah, but they're still not going to get anything. That's the problem. The government's just going to take more money, and you're not going to get shit. You're going to get a bunch of promises.
It's like the root cause of this. But I also think that, look, we've ran an experiment in the United States of America. And, I think that we have undone that experiment, taken it in a different direction in the Trump administration, where ship all the factories overseas and let low-wage foreigners make our stuff. That was a bad deal for American workers. Again, it takes a long time to reverse that trend, but I think it's one of the best parts of Trump administration policy is you do see that trend starting to reverse. This idea that nobody should own anything, we should all become renters, whereas what we're trying to do is lower interest rates. You actually have seen housing costs stabilize in the country over the last year and a half, frankly, because of immigration.
Yeah, but we don't need them to stabilize. We need them to go down. Like, what good is it stabilizing at a fucking ridiculous price where nobody can afford it? Oh, great, it's stabilized at a price that everybody's priced out of. No, we needed to go down. And Trump was like, he's already said like he doesn't really give a fuck. Because he's more worried about the boomers and, their fucking how much their house is worth and all that bullshit than actually getting prices down.
Way too many people going after way too many homes. You close the border. This is one of the reasons why rents and housing costs have stabilized a little bit. So I think that unless you go down that pathway
At Flatman official super chatted $2, didn't vote for everything expensive Trump trash.
Yeah. He's definitely not delivering. He's definitely not. And, a big part of, it's not everything, but a big part of why everything's so expensive, or a big part in keeping prices from going up is keeping the cost of energy down. Inflation's directly tied to the cost of energy. And he goes and starts a war that affects the cost of energy. But hey, they've done a good job manipulating the markets to keep it from getting too out of control. So you got to give them that.
Allowing young Americans to own something, socialism is the inevitable outcome. Do I think that's good? No. But I really do worry, and I see this, frankly, more in my own party than I do on the other side. There is this revulsion to socialism that's totally justified without enough thinking about how did we get here in the first place.
Right.
And if we don't fix that, and I would say if we don't get back to a more Christian sort of understanding of economics, socialism is the alternative. Like that is where this goes.
Well,
if people don't
think
Dude, what are you talking? A Christian thing? No, you got to get rid of corruption, bro. That's what the problem is. And if there's, for some reason, I don't understand why the socialists want to fight with people like me, who like my whole thing is we have corruption. That's the number one problem in this country, because we have a corrupt government that's no longer functioning for the people. And you would think the socialists could get on board with us to go, hey, we got to solve that problem first. And then we can figure out whether we're going to go, capitalist or so. We can have that debate or we can have that decision made through elections. But first we have to clean up the corruption or nothing's going to fucking work. So in theory, we should all be able to come together, socialists, capitalists, everybody, on this the shared idea that, hey, first things first is we got to fix the corruption problem. But that's the thing that nobody ever talks about.
Own
the
anything.
game is rigged.
Exactly.
But he makes a good point. He just, say it what it is. JD. It's corruption. But of course, he's part of the government now, so it's because we're not Christian enough. That's what it is. Here's another one. What's this one? Talks about going to Los Angeles, and it reminded him of a third world country. Yeah. I don't know if you guys live in California. I don't want to talk back, because California is still beautiful. The weather's beautiful, but man, there are, I mean, like, if you go to fucking, what is the fucking, what's the name of that? Whatever the fuck. I can't remember the name. I'm never there. Whatever row, where it's just like nothing but homeless tents and fucking drug addicted people on the streets. Which, I mean, we got that in Austin now too. Not as bad. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. This is what it feels like the future of America is going to be. Like, you look at all the problems that California is having, and it looks like that eventually is just going to be all of America.
Years now.
Yeah.
And every time we go back to California, we're like, we were right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were right. It's falling
Skid
apart.
Row, thank you. I'm
Going
retarded.
Further and further down the toilet.
Brain wasn't working.
How do you feel like Austin is going? Because the criticism of Austin, call it 5 or 6 years ago, is that it's a cool town. It's got its own unique culture. It's Texas, but it's also its own thing. But that all of the blue staters moving in were going to like totally change the politics and the culture of Austin. I actually don't think that's happened.
I think the blue staters that moved here because they recognized that wherever they were living was not tenable.
Yeah.
It was falling apart. And all of these places like New York and really California, like especially Los Angeles and San Francisco, they're falling
Flatlamb
apart.
official super chatted
And-
$2. Trump screwed us over with tariffs. It's FC kid.
I think he did it wrong. I think tariffs, I'm not against tariffs. I'm against the way he did the tariffs. You got to do, I think tariffs can be used to bring back industry, to help businesses, but the way he did it was just like we needed a surgeon to go in with a scalpel and be like, okay, well, we want to bring back the steel industry, but first we have to have a steel industry. So we got to like subsidize and like, I don't know, give the steel industry a head start to build up. And then once it's built up and it's got the capacity to hit the ground running, then we put on the tariff so that can compete. The way they did is just a blanket tariffs on everything. He used it as a negotiating tactic, as instead of like a scalpel to actually help us compete in the international business world. So the way he did it was just haphazard and stupid.
I have a bunch of friends that are stuck there that can't move. Like maybe they have family there or maybe they have a business there.
Yep.
And they fucking hate it. And then I have a bunch of people that are trying to move, but they can't sell their house. Like, it's nuts there, man.
Yeah,
I don't think people, first of all, you get gaslit by Gavin Newsom. I mean, he's just gaslighting everybody about how well, the GDP was like the 5th largest country in the world. That's what California is.
It's like, dude.
Hey, bro, it was like that before you were the governor.
Yeah, exactly. Also, how much does a U-Haul cost if you're leaving California? And
Right.
how much does it cost if you're going to California? Because that's the real measure of whether a state's doing well.
Yeah, the state has more people moving out than moving in, and that has never happened before.
Correct.
California's, when I moved there in 1994 until I left, it was always every year traffic got worse. Every year more people moved there. Every year. And I loved it. I loved it from the time I moved there. I was like, this place is great. It's warm all the time. The weather's fantastic. There's so much cool stuff to do. The people are great.
Yeah.
And then politics ruined it.
That's right.
Yeah, but Joe got to experience it from like the rich and famous perspective. He didn't experience it as just a regular dude. He experienced it as like a famous celebrity. So yeah, I'm sure if you're a famous celebrity, California's still great. If you're a fucking billionaire, I'm sure California's still great.
So my wife's from Southern California, San Diego. And so we spent a fair amount of time there. And I still feel a certain sense of like heartbreak over LA.
Oh, I do
Because
too.
every time I'm in
Yeah.
LA, you can see why this was like the quintessentially American city. The architecture is beautiful. It's got its own vibe going. Like you said, the weather is amazing. And then you drive through Skid Row and you're like, how could any state or any city let this happen?
Skid Row is now 55 blocks. It was 50 blocks
Yeah, dude.
just like
So-
a year or two ago.
Okay, so my first experience with Skid Row was So Usha used to work at this like very fancy litigation firm, and
I've never been to Skid Row. California is one of the few places I haven't spent a lot of time in. I did spend a couple weeks in San Diego, and I fucking loved it. You know, I did a lot of traveling in my life for work, but I always avoided California because they never paid enough. Like, they'd want me to go to San Francisco for like $40 an hour, and I'm like, why would I go to San Francisco for $40 an hour? Fuck you. I still see ads. I still get emails about, oh, we're looking for an integrator in San Francisco for $40 an hour. Like, who the fuck is going to go to San Francisco for $40 an hour? I'm sure maybe some idiot will go. But San Diego was fun. I loved San Diego. It was amazing.
in Southern California. Before she was second lady, she was a corporate litigator. So
but that was the early
there's
2000s.
a Christmas party in downtown LA. And you get these instructions from her firm, and they're like this really convoluted way of, this is how you have to get to this Christmas party. And I'm like, why do I have to follow these directions? Why don't I just put it in Google Maps, right? This is like 5 or 6, 7 years ago. So we realized that the reason why they gave you these convoluted directions was so that you could avoid Skid Row at night. And so you get to this party, you drive through Skid Row if you follow Google Maps' directions. You get there, and it's like this beautiful facility with like fancy food and fancy wine, and then there are armed guards outside of it and these gigantic walls. And I realized when I was there, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of going to the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Like,
that's a good point, El Jefe. El Jefe says California is super cool to the homeless. If I ever become homeless, I'm hitchhiking to California. The first place I go if I ever become homeless, I'm going to go be homeless in fucking California, dude.
super security, crazy wealth and privilege and status on the inside, and squalor and misery on the outside. Like, it's the first time I'd ever thought America, like this part of America, is actually more like a third world country than anything that I thought we'd ever become.
Let me ask you this.
Well, I think the whole country's going to become that, bro. Because look at where we're at. Everybody's being priced out of homes. Everybody's like, wages are not going up. Everything else is going up extremely high, extremely fast. Like, this is coming, dude. And you're the fucking vice president, JD. I don't know. People will say, well, it's not JD's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's your fault because if you do really believe the things you're saying, you've completely failed to persuade Trump to do any of it. So it's great that you're VP and you're saying all these nice things, but at the end of the day, you're not helping to solve the fucking problem. So you're gonna be blamed for it as well. Should we get to this? Well, I guess some of this is out of order. We'll get to this, and we'll get back to more of the JD Vance clips. Here's more of Candace Owens making it all about herself. And by the way, everybody's got onto this face now. Every time I see somebody clipping Candace, the thumbnail is always her making this fucking stupid face. But yeah, I think she thinks. Somebody was saying that Candace really likes Charlie. I don't think so. I'm going to be a conspiracy guy real quick. I think at the time that Charlie Kirk was killed, I think Candace was not happy with Charlie. I think if you look at what a lot of people are saying, Charlie was really trying to manage her to try to keep her from attacking Turning Point the way she was attacking like Daily Wire and shit. And I don't think she liked Charlie. I think she was pissed off at Charlie. I think there's some bad blood there. And then as soon as he dies, she pretends like she was the closest friend to Charlie in the world.
I know what my gut has told me about the situation from the moment that it took place. I know what beyond my gut and beyond my dreams, the statement from Andrew Colbert, it was supposed to be you. Was it? Was it? Is it fair to ask if it's plausible that when Charlie was taken to the Hamptons, the phone call no one wants to address from Bibi Netanyahu, is it fair to ask the question if it was literally supposed to be me who was supposed to be back on tour with Charlie? Did he say no to killing Candace Owens?
So you think Charlie was in it that deep that Netanyahu was calling Charlie going, Charlie, we got to assassinate Candace Owens. Are you in? Charlie, we need you to kill Candace Owens, okay? We need you to prove your loyalty and murder Candace Owens. And Charlie was like, no, I can't do it. And then they whacked him. Like, this is like the plot to like a fucking terrible episode of The Sopranos. She's batshit crazy. I'm sorry. Oop, there's the face. There's the face. She always got to make that face.
And then did he become a liability because he said no? What did Charlie turn down from Bibi Netanyahu while Erica was there? Again, the people that were present don't even want to acknowledge the phone call. I only got an acknowledgement that it happened from Erica in person, who then said, oh, he was just following up on a letter that Charlie wrote in May. Really?
Oh, of course she's lying, right? I mean, obviously, there's no way she's telling the truth. Obviously, the truth is that they were planning to kill you. And Charlie was like, I cannot go along with this. So then they killed Charlie because he was standing up for you. Because at the end of the day, all roads lead to Candace. It's all about you, Candace.
Bill Ackman's house, you put Bibi Netanyahu on the phone. And he's just like, hey, I got your letter. I want to talk about that letter from months ago. This feels like a good time. I don't buy it, guys. I think this is darker than we could ever imagine. I think.
I don't know. I just had to add that in there. It's always about Candace. Always about Candace. Get back to the JD Vance stuff. Joe Rogan presses Vice President JD Vance about a military commander who told troops that bombing Iran is part of God's divine plan to bring back Jesus Christ. A lot of the neocons are not happy with Rogan right now because they feel like he went a little too hard on JD. And I think good on Joe. Good on Joe. It can't be a fucking glazing session when you have the vice president at a time like this where we're starting stupid wars. You gotta fucking ask the tough questions.
Official super chatted $2. How do I become this crazy to get rich? Curious.
First of all, you need a pair of ovaries. Okay, having ovaries definitely helps. Be a woman first of all, and I don't know. It's not easy to be that crazy. You do have to work at it. And the good news though, Flatman B, is if you put in the work, you can get there. You just got to put in the work.
There's people that, again, they live their life in a very beautiful way. And
he didn't go hard enough? Well, I haven't watched the whole thing. I've kind of seen a few clips, and I'm going to be watching a lot of it with you guys right now.
They follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, and they're very admirable, and I think that's very attractive, and it makes people very curious about that religion. And I think that brings people to Christ, and I think it brings people to religion.
Sure.
But then there's people like, did you read that report that came from at the start of the Iran war, where there was a guy who was an officer, non-commissioned officer, who was at a briefing, and this guy came in as explaining to them that they didn't need to be afraid because this war was important because Trump had been anointed by Jesus Christ to bring about his return, and the way Jesus is gonna return is by bombing Iran.
I did not see that report.
Okay,
that sounds pretty far out there to me.
This is the kind of right-wing thinking. So here it is. Military commander tells troops bombing Iran is part of God's divine plan. So we started getting calls in the wee hours of Saturday morning from people saying their commanders were just jubilant about this, trying to tell people, don't worry, it's all part of God's plan. They promised a 200-mile-long river that is 4.5 feet deep, filled with nothing but the blood that their weaponized version of Jesus will spill at the Battle of Armageddon.
The weaponized version of Jesus. The thing is, I think I remember this clip. I think JD Vance is trying to make it like this is out of context or something, but I think I remember this clip.
Weinstein said. But what was the one? There was an article where the guy was explaining the actual quotes that the one officer was telling him. The one commander. Yeah, but it's not that. It was very specific. It was very specific what he said.
I mean, for what it's worth, my attitude on this stuff is, I mean, first of all, as a Christian, you sort of believe that everything is part of God's plan, even things that are ultimately very terrible. I mean, you kind of have to make accommodation.
Let me read the quote. He urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelations referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. He said that President Trump had been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth.
Okay.
People do believe this shit. I'm sorry. There are certain beliefs that some Christians have that are just fucking insane. Okay? especially these Zio-Christian types, the Judeo-Christian types who like worship Israel. Like, they're pretty fucking nuts, bro.
If I'm in that meeting, I'm like, hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. What?
That's where you need some of the psychedelics we talked about at the last Joe Rogan JD Vance conversation.
That would definitely help.
I mean, okay, my response to that, first of all, like, obviously, do I endorse that? No. Do I think that it's important that people rein it in a little bit? Because I'm sure you're right. There were a lot of troops there, probably a lot of Christians.
Yeah, the Speaker of the House. Yeah, Ted Cruz is one. Lindsey Graham. All these fucking neocons, they either pretend to believe that shit so they can use religion as a justification for their wars, or maybe they really believe that shit and they're just fucking nuts, dude. Ted Cruz, Mike Huckabee, I don't know, they seem like they're fucking true believers. Like their whole thing is not like actually taking care of America. It's like, we got to take care of Israel because that's the promised land and we need it's fucking nuts, bro. But it does make a good cover for just being a corrupt piece of shit who's just a warmonger who wants to make money off fucking blowing people up. So it might just be a convenient cover for a lot of these politician types.
Troops there were like, I'm not sure this is exactly right.
Right.
But the important point is, I think it's important as a Christian leader, as Christians, period.
Yeah, somebody says this is not Christianity. Well, you can disagree with it, but there are people that believe this shit. That's the point here.
One of the things we have to do is just have humility in the face of God's plan. There's a lot that we don't understand. There's a lot that we don't get. And I think especially on matters of war and peace, the approach that I try to take is you try to make the best decisions that you can. You hope that you're on God's side. You don't assume that...
Yeah, last I checked, John, Lindsey Graham is still dead.
God has taken your
side. Rest in peace, Lindsey.
That's a very famous Abraham Lincoln quote.
People get upset when you say rest in peace. They're like, how dare you say rest in peace? He should never rest in peace. It's like, what am I going to say? Am I just going to go in on it? No, just rest in peace, Lindsey. That's all I got to say. Terrible politician, but he's dead now. Just rest in peace, okay?
And that's the attitude that I take. So for that, what I would encourage that NCO to say is, you know what? God is in control. We don't know what's going to happen, but let's pray and try to do as good of a job as we can, trusting in God. If I was speaking to a group of Christian troops, that's what I would say.
But you're speaking to a group of troops.
Sure.
You don't know if they're Christian. You don't know. I mean, you're essentially letting these people know that you believe that Trump was anointed by Jesus to bomb Iran so that Jesus can come back to
Jesus
Earth.
Come back in a fire.
At Flatman Official super chatted $2. I want to love Jesus and be good. They are crazy, bro.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, how many of those soldiers you think are like real diehard Christians and heard that message and were inspired by it versus hearing that message and going, what the fuck am I getting myself into? What is going on? I thought I was signing up to like defend the country and now I'm fighting some holy war to bring back, to create Armageddon, it's like, I mean, imagine being a soldier listening to that speech. I would have a hard time serving after that.
If I was there, I'd be like, can I get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Look, yes, and that is the first that I have ever heard of this particular story.
How have you not heard of this and Biden's 2 brain surgeries?
Apparently, I live in a bunker, man.
How do you not know about these things? That's crazy.
Wild. Okay, here's the other thing I'll say is having heard about this for the first time just now, to your point about the media, I do think it's possible, let's be honest, that whatever that dude said, maybe it was good, maybe it was bad, has been misreported by the press. So I always have a filter on this stuff. Like, I don't automatically assume.
It's also possible that this is the other thing. He said the commander supposedly had a big grin on his face when he said all this, which made his message seem even more crazy.
I mean, it does seem so crazy. It's hard to believe it. But maybe you should look into it, JD Vance. Because if we have decision makers in the military who are this fucking crazy, they probably don't belong there.
And I think that's, again, I don't think anybody should have, look, war is sometimes necessary, but it's never a good thing. And I think that's like a fundamental Christian principle, is there are just wars, there are necessary wars, but war is always something that you try to avoid.
Yeah, this Iran war is not one of those wars, is it, JD Vance? JD Vance tells Joe Rogan there probably was a broader Epstein. Okay, here comes the Epstein stuff. There probably was a broader Epstein conspiracy, and he'll go to his deathbed believing there's a bigger story. Well, it's not like you can do anything about it as the vice president of the United fucking States, JD Vance. Vance, the problem is if you go back to the original investigation, okay, well, they're just going to read this. We'll just watch the video.
The problem is, if you go back to the original investigation, it was designed in a way that was way too narrow. If there was a broader conspiracy, and you know my view is that there probably was, the evidence that existed in 2007.
At Bootoil _ super chatted $9.99. That officer was definitely a pog. Typical guys in the rear trying to act tough and talk shit. I've heard a lot of colonels and majors say stupid shit while riding a desk for 20 years.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. You know, they're people at the end of the day, and some of them are going to have stupid fucking ideas. But keep it to yourself. If you got some crazy fucking Armageddon wish, you know, to bring about Armageddon, maybe keep it to yourself, you know? That is kind of scary, though, if there are people in the military that have that belief system that, like, we got to create Armageddon. We need to nuke and just blow up the whole world so Jesus comes. It's crazy. Thank you for
that was
10,
the
brother.
opportunity to get
So
it.
when you say there probably was a broader conspiracy, what exactly are you saying?
I think there are a few different options. I mean, look, man, I like you and I could literally do 2 episodes about this. I've gone on down to every rabbit hole.
But it's clear that he was trying to get in contact with people that he felt were influential. It was clear that he was trying to get people to get together on the island and meet at parties. So there was something he was doing where he was trying to either influence people or compromise people.
Correct.
So it's not, there's some sort of an operation that was going on.
There is a story there, and, you know, I will go to my deathbed believing there's a story there, but I can't prove it. And I promise you there's not some document that at least I'm hiding that allows us to prove exactly what was going on and how.
I don't buy that, dude. It's like he's doing the same thing everybody did before they were in office, where like we know there's something there. We're gonna get down to the bottom, but you're in office, so get down to the bottom of it. I guess VPs are just completely powerless to do anything. I guess that's really what he's saying here. Is I'm just the VP. I'm just the Vice President of the United States. What am I supposed to do about it? JD Vance throwing his hands up. If people want to say we mishandled the Epstein release, guilty. We did mishandle it. Well, that's an understatement, bro.
But if people want to say we mishandled the Epstein release, guilty. We did mishandle, especially the communications of it.
What do you think should have been done?
I think that we should have just dropped everything at the very beginning. And like, obviously it takes a little time to review the stuff, to find the stuff, to redact things where you have victims and so.
Adinacrad6306 super chatted $1.41. Vance's good talker, give him that. Don't trust though.
Yeah, he's trying to act like he's not in the administration and has like any say. Like he's talking as if he's on the outside. Like, okay, yeah, you should have, but you realize your administration is the one who put the kibosh to it. Your administration is the one that came out and all of a sudden it was like, stop talking about it. You can't vote for me if you talk about it. It's like that was you that did that. Oh, but it wasn't me, it was Trump. Okay, well, you're his vice president in the same administration. And if you had any backbone or courage, you would have done like Joe Kent. Like, that's the only move at a certain point. If you're along for the ride, you're in a car that Trump's driving, and Trump's like, hey, pussy, we're going to go fucking murder some people. Let's go. I'm going to go kill some grandmas or something. And you're like, okay, I guess because I'm the vice president, I just have to go. No, at that point, you go, I'm getting out of the fucking car. Fuck you. That's the move. Have some balls.
Forth, but we should have just done it as quickly as possible.
But some of the stuff that was redacted, some of the names that were redacted weren't victims.
So yeah, I've looked into this, and my understanding of this, having looked at a lot of this, but not all of it, is that it is sometimes hard to draw a distinction between victim and co-conspirator. And like, let me highlight this in a very sort of obvious way. Rokana, who's been one of the loudest voices on the episode.
What did you guys do to John? John says, did I broke Lindsey Graham's heart, guys, in El Jefe? I don't know. Did you, John? Did you and Lindsey have a relationship? Did you break his heart in some way? It's okay, John. Don't worry about it.
Epstein file. Well,
no one's blaming you,
He became very
John.
loud on the Epstein files the minute Donald Trump became president. Didn't seem to care about it during the Biden administration. He actually brought one of the Epstein victims, I think, to the State of the Union last year, or maybe it was the year before last. Well, like that victim, and I'm not saying she wasn't a victim. I don't know anything about her particular case. She was also listed as a co-conspirator in some of these documents. Right, so there's an idea that some of the people who were engaged in the sex trafficking were also, facilitating it as well.
So they were incentivized to get more girls.
Yeah, but yes, that's right. But the idea is that it's hard to sort of, it's sometimes a little bit of a gray area between, some of the people who were alleged victims were also alleged co-conspirators.
Okay, so they're no longer victims then. I don't understand how that's complicated. Oh, we got to protect the victims. Okay, well, if that victim then turned into a perpetrator. It's like if, like I get, theoretically molested as a child, and then I grow up and become a molester. Am I always a victim? And now I'm protected because no, now you're a molester and you're now a perpetrator and the victim status is gone. Now you're a criminal. Now you're a fucking pedophile. You're a molester and you need to be fucking, face the consequences of that. So that just seems like, again, it seems like cope. It seems like a convenient excuse to hide shit that they don't want people to know about and just say, oh, we're protecting the victims.
And so what DOJ tried to do was kind of make that judgment as best they could and release as much as possible.
What's the next one? JD Vance told Joe Rogan the Trump admin absolutely screwed up the comms on Epstein files. Rogan presses hard on blackmail theories. Vance denies the full conspiracy, but admits they fumbled the release and there's still a real story here. Let's see. Is this the same one we just played? We'll find out.
Understand, though, why people would come to that conclusion, especially because of the Epstein files?
What do you mean?
Well, the Epstein files were supposed to be released, and there was a tremendous amount of resistance to those files being released, and that concerned a lot of people. Because if you're talking about very wealthy, powerful people that were engaged in crimes,
I see. So you're basically saying like the fear is that whatever's in the Epstein files was used to blackmail like the administration into doing the Iran thing.
Or at the very least, the people that were involved in the Epstein files
that didn't
want
asking.
them coming out had undue influence.
Because it is kind of funny how you just like flip the fucking script. You fucking went from, oh, we're gonna go after the people involved with the Epstein files to all of a sudden it's a hoax. We're gonna hide it, and then you start a war with Iran, which is something you ran against. It's worth asking. Like, did you get blackmailed?
Well, again, like, say this with all candor, like, we absolutely screwed up the comms of the Epstein files, like we just did. But do I think the reason we screwed up the comms is because we were trying to hide something? No. I think the reason we screwed up the comms of the Epstein files is one, Pam Bondi said, the client list is on my desk, right?
Well, they had binders. They were standing in front.
But those binders were largely documents that had already been released, right? So let me try to
what was
the
purpose of that performative display of the Epstein files? And she was saying there's tens of thousands of hours of film.
I don't know what the purpose of it was.
I think she was legitimately thinking they were going to actually fucking release everything. And then all of a sudden, Trump just kind of pulled the rug out from under her and was like, no, we got to cover all this up. And it's a hoax. And she was basically left out to dry. She was left out to dry. Or hung out to dry, whatever the fucking saying is. I'm sort of retarded right now. I don't know why my brain's not working. But I think that's a possibility. Because they were, acting like they were going to release everything. And maybe she really thought, like, hey, I'm going to release everything. And then whatever behind the scenes, people are like, you can't do this. We could, whatever the fuck weird shit went down behind the scenes, they definitely switched up.
But I know that the effect of it was to make people mistrust the entire effort. And what I think was happening, look, I know Pam, I like Pam. I don't think there was anything malicious going on. I think Pam was trying to respond to the political moment. I think she overstated what we had and what we didn't have. And I think that she, got roasted for it publicly by a lot of people, including me. Like, you and I have talked about this a lot. I'm like one of the OG Epstein conspiracy theorists. I've probably gone down every single rabbit hole. We could go down most of them today.
Yeah, you're the OG, dude. Yeah, okay. You're just like Dan Bongino. That's really what it is. You're like Dan Bongino. And then now you can sit here and act like you're not in the administration and be like, oh, we should have done. It's like, you're still vice president. Do something. Put some pressure on Trump. Threaten to resign. Just fucking raise holy hell, bro. Vance tells Rogan that Epstein was intricately connected with high-level Israeli intelligence, the Israeli deep state, in particular Ehud Barak's government. I remember I saw a little bit of this earlier, and basically it's the left wing. He was connected to like the left wing of Israel, not the right wing. Okay, that's convenient.
He clearly had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence. In fact, one of the interesting things the Epstein saga reveals about, and I try to make this point, is one of the reasons why I'm always careful, and I say there are some elements within the Israeli government who don't like our peace process, because there are a lot of elements within the Israeli government that actually do like our peace process. They recognize that this indefinite campaign is not good for them either. And the Epstein thing is interesting because as much as I know, Prime Minister Netanyahu, not a particularly popular person in the United States of America right now.
That's an understatement.
Epstein seemed to be connected to the elements of the Israeli deep state that were left of center. Like, I've always found that fascinating.
Isn't that convenient?
It wasn't like he was super connected to the right of center of Israeli politics. America, he was connected across.
How do you know that, by the way, JD? Sounds like you have some shit you're not telling us. Joe Rogan, so what was the purpose of that performative display of the Epstein files? She was saying there. Yeah, I think we saw this one already. Let's see. We'll try it again.
Again, say this with all candor, we absolutely screwed up the comms of the Epstein files.
Yeah, we saw this one already. We'll move on. Joe Rogan on Epstein. Most people think he was Mossad. JD Vance. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections. Okay, yeah, again, we saw that one. I'm doubling up some of these on accident. JD Vance on Epstein files. I'll go to my deathbed believing there's a story there, but I can't prove it. And I promise you there's not some document that at least I'm hiding that allows us to prove exactly what was going on. I don't know if I believe that, honestly. If that was the case, then why are they hiding shit? Why did Trump fight so hard? And then when we get the files, they're redacted up the ass.
Doing where he was trying to either influence people or compromise people.
Correct.
So it's not, there's some sort of an operation that was going on.
There is a story there. And, I will go to my deathbed believing there's a story there, but I can't prove it. And I promise you there's not some document that at least I'm hiding.
Yeah, we saw this already. I don't believe this, honestly. I think they know what's up and they're hiding it. In recent interview with Joe Rogan, Fat Man JD Vance attempts to distance himself from the hawks in America who wanted to blow up the Memorandum of Understanding through media attacks, but refuses to implicate Israel with their real-life attacks on Lebanon, ultimately blowing up the MOU. That's really what it was. It was a very clear point that Iran, said is like, look, this isn't going to work if you keep attacking Lebanon, and immediately Israel attacked Lebanon. So
again, the hawks attacked us and misrepresented this and lied about it and said the Trump administration is going to give the Iranians $300 billion. And it's totally fake. It's completely made up. And it was done purely in order to politically tank the negotiation. So there's been this interesting dynamic here where as we've been trying to negotiate, there have been these extraordinarily well-funded efforts
At
to
Hypnordia
tank the
Stream
negotiation.
super chatted
What's up, buddy?
$4.99. A house divided cannot stand. For every house is built by someone, but God is the builder of everything. Jesus Christ is the only way. God is love.
well, amen. Thank you for the 5 Hypnodio stream. Thank you, brother.
Negotiation to prevent us from reaching a deal, to change American public opinion, which, by the way, if you look at the public opinion, people love the idea of actually getting to a final resolution on this thing. Americans they're not game for long-term open-ended regime change wars in the Middle East. They're okay with us using the military to accomplish discrete objectives. They're not okay with open-ended obligations.
What do you think the motivation of the Hawks is? Do you think this is? Are they influenced by defense contractors? Are they what's the reason why they're so keen on continuing to bomb?
I think with any big group of people, you have a diversity of opinions. So sure, I'm sure that you have people who are influenced by defense contractors. There's a lot of talk about how much is the Israeli government influencing American politics, and there are certainly certain people within the Israeli government who hate the deal, and we see exact evidence. There was a Times story that came out yesterday that basically there are certain influencers in America who are being paid in order to attack the deal. I think some of it's just pure political ideology, right? It's foreign policy perspectives that are much different from mine. They think that America should that we can basically, you can wave a magic wand with the military and accomplish whatever you want. And, it's not that simple. You actually have to have a very clear objective. Military power can accomplish a clear objective, but you've got to have that clear objective. You can't just say, we're going to bomb until something good happens. That never works. The United States has tried that before.
No, the objective is to bomb Iran to the point where it becomes like Libya and it becomes a completely failed state and you have a power vacuum. Therefore, you have more terrorism. So more terrorism equals more war and, more money for the fucking military-industrial complex. And then, you got the Greater Israel Project, all the other shit that Israel wants to do. I don't know. There is no real, winning this. And they kind of know that, I think. And that's the goal. The goal is just, hey, this will keep us in business for a long fucking time.
So I think it's a combination.
I think the goal is another forever war. I think for a lot of people, they made a killing off the forever wars with Iraq and Afghanistan. And they want to bring that back. They miss it.
Of things.
What do we got next here? JD Vance calls himself a reasonable moderate between pro and anti-Israel extremes, saying he's advocating a pragmatic relationship based on shared interest with Israel. I don't know. I think we need to cut them off. They're out of control, bro. I think we need to just be like, okay, good luck. Good luck. You guys do your thing, and we're not going to help you. You want to start 100 different wars, go for it. You're going to face the consequences on your own.
But
that's how I feel.
When I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being funded to tank the very deal that I was pursuing, and oh, by the way, many of the people who were receiving that money were actually attacking me in completely dishonest ways, my response to that is, well, go to hell.
Why is everybody getting paid but me? Candace Owens, another thing she keeps talking about is everybody's getting paid so much money to attack me, guys. Everybody's getting all this money from Israel to attack me. And I'm like, I'm going to attack you either way. If Israel wants to give me some money to attack you, I'm already going to do it. Israel, send me $7,000, please. Send me my 7,000. I'm waiting. I think it's probably a little bit overplayed, I bet. Everybody's getting checks from either Qatar or Israel.
I'm going to do what I have to do for the American people. I represent Americans first, and that's the way that I've tried to do this job. And Joe, the crazy thing is, people don't realize this. I'm actually in this, there's this massive pro-Israel, anti-Israel debate in the United States of America. I'm like the reasonable moderate.
I don't even give a fuck about pro-anti-Israel. I'm just anti-stupid fucking wars, dude. And I could give a fuck about Israel before they dragged us into another stupid fucking war that we absolutely do not need and that a lot of us voted against. So I'm just anti-war. I'm not really even anti-Israel. I could give a fuck about Israel.
And I think that's what so many people don't realize is, I've been accused of being an anti-Semite. I've been accused...
For what reason?
Quite literally I've been accused of trying to, I guess, some people say that I've insulted the Jewish religion, which is insane. I have a ton of respect for the Jewish religion.
But
if you talk about...
What specifically did you say?
I don't know. I've never heard a good, compelling argument for why I'm an anti-Semite, even though I've been accused of being an anti-Semite by many people. But what what I say to these guys is
6306 super chatted $3.52. I think the plan has always been solid. The only wild card was the Muslims, so we got them to fight each other. It's something I'd think of in an RTS.
I don't know. It seems to be like no plan except to just fucking have more war, dude. Like, what is the plan to win this? You know, like bombing them is not going to win it, just dropping bombs on them. We're going to have to get boots on the ground. And I think that is Israel's ultimate goal, is to get us to put boots on the ground. And I think they think if they can keep us going, eventually we're going to have no choice but to put boots on the ground. And I think that's what Israel wants. But we'll see what happens, man. I think the longer this goes on, the more American people are just going to like tune it out. Like, I already see it kind of happening. Like at the beginning, it was big. Everybody was talking about it. Now it's like Trump can bomb them and it's not even news anymore. Nobody fucking cares. So I think if they drag this on long enough, the American people are going to be so bored of it and so tuned out that they could probably at some point put boots on the ground and just no one's going to give a shit. They're just tired of hearing about it.
Look at public opinion. Look at the way
they'd rather talk about whatever fucking sports thing happened that day.
Young Republicans versus Republicans over the age of 65 approach this issue. Like right now, Israel is losing the public opinion battle in the United States of America. It is a simple and obvious fact. Donald Trump has said that publicly. It's a simple and obvious fact.
Why do you think that is?
Well, let me finish this point.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my attitude is towards this is Israel is an ally. Like France or like the United Kingdom, we're going to have disagreements with them.
I don't think they're an ally, dude. The Pentagon said that they're the biggest threat when it comes to like them spying on us and bribing our leadership. How is that an ally? They're not allies, dude. Okay? They're not.
We're going to have agreements with them. There are areas where we're going to have similar interests and areas where our interests are going to diverge. So my approach to this is to say, you know what? When we're partnered, great, let's work together. And we're not, let's just be honest about it. And for that, people attack me for being an anti-Semite or anti-Israel, and they don't see the writing on the wall that I'm actually just the guy advocating for a normal relationship with a normal country that's based around shared interest as opposed to based around, something else. So why is Israel losing American public opinion?
Well, the narrative is that Israel has a very disproportionate effect on American politics.
Yeah, I see that. I see that narrative. I mean, I actually think that
not a narrative. That's fucking reality.
Look, do they try to influence American politics? Yes. But like I said earlier, a lot of other countries do. I think
to the extent that Israel does,
I think some are better at it than others. I think the Israelis are definitely more effective at it than most. But I wouldn't say that they're the only effective country by any means that try.
They're the most effective because if you don't go along with everything they want, they just label you an anti-Semite and try to destroy you. And politically, everybody that's got in political office, they're so scared of being labeled an anti-Semite and getting on the wrong side of the Israel lobby that it's just like, okay, you want to fuck me in the ass? You got it, Israel. Israel, you want a blowjob? You got it, Israel. I'll suck your dick right now. Just don't call me an anti-Semite. And no other country has that level of power. They don't. Israel's got that unique fucking ability to be like, you do what we want, or we're gonna fucking label you the worst of the worst. You're essentially Hitler if you don't fucking fight the wars we want you to.
As to influence American politics. I just think you have to be self-aware about it. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a country of 9 million people. We have 330 million people. And so, of course, they're going to try to persuade Americans. They're going to try to move Americans in one direction or another. I think that's just the nature of the beast.
But it's more than that. The concern is that they're spying on American politicians, that there's concerns about funding, there's concerns about influence, there's concerns about whether or not politicians whether they're aligned with Israel or whether they're aligned with the United States first.
Well, there's certainly, I definitely get those concerns, but my sense is that the way that all foreign influence works in the United States is people try to manipulate American public opinion. And then from manipulating a public opinion, they try to get the outcomes that they want. I mean, this thing is a very...
there's also blackmail. You know, it's not. I mean, let's not forget. To me, that's what Epstein was all about. Was getting blackmailed to fucking control politicians and people with power.
6306 super chatted $1.41. We're paying for them to be the enemy.
Yeah, well, they got it made, bro. They got it made.
A good example.
Thank you for the super chat
of this.
By the way, talking about sports, that fucking Argentina-England game was pretty interesting, huh? A lot of England fans are really upset, but I don't know. It looks like Argentina's just the better team, bro. Looks like they're the better team. Well, on the Joe Rogan podcast, Vice President J.D. Vance is upset with Israeli influencers claiming he takes his marching orders from Tucker Carlson or Qatar. Yeah, that's their talking point.
But I definitely think you have seen this very discreet, extremely well-funded campaign to try to derail the negotiation and try to derail the deal. And, you know, there's this Time article that came out yesterday. A friend sent it to me. It's like worth reading because it lists a bunch of people who have quite literally been paid by a former Trump campaign person who was himself paid by certain elements within the Israeli government. And those people are attacking me viciously for quite literally trying to accomplish the negotiation objective that the president set for the country. So
what is their position? Like, are they attacking you how?
Oh, it's social media posts. It's, you know, they're leaking to reporters. They're attacking me obsessively, saying that we should not be negotiating with Iran. We should just keep the military campaign going indefinitely. And that is their explicit position. And coming after me saying that, you know, people have come after me and say that I'm influenced by Qatar, that I'm influenced by foreign governments, that, you know, I take my marching orders from Tucker Carlson. And there's just so much bullshit out there, when what I'm actually trying to do is accomplish what the President of the United States told me to accomplish, which is a settlement of this that accomplishes our objectives. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. We have the free flow of oil and gas. And like, I should be clear, you know, I don't actually mind. I don't mind that the, you know, let's say certain elements of the Israeli government want to criticize the deal.
Yeah, because, you know, politically, that's good. If you can get the label of Israel hating you, and you were the one guy in the administration working to end this stupid war, you think politically that's good for you. The problem is it's just so hard to trust anybody anymore. It's hard to trust that you actually mean any of this, or instead of just positioning yourself politically to have a better chance of winning, essentially.
Or have disagreements about the deal. I don't even mind an effort to try to influence, you know, foreign governments try to influence the United States all the time. You know, Israel does it, other countries do it. It's just sort of the nature of...
Yeah, but other countries haven't successfully dragged us into a stupid fucking war. So there's no point. It's like, yes, okay, other countries do. Obviously, any country would like to influence us to do their bidding. You'd be stupid as a country not to want to have another country do your bidding, all right? Okay. But none of those countries are actually anywhere near successful doing it as Israel is. The proof of that is us getting into a stupid war that nobody voted for.
The beast. What bothers me is actually when Americans meaning American leadership, allows that influence to affect their judgment and to affect what they are advocating for. That's what really bothers me. People are always going to try to influence the United States of America, whether they're allies of ours or whether they're enemies of ours. But again, when I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being funded to tank the very deal that I was pursuing, and oh, by the way, many of the people who were receiving that money were actually attacking me in completely dishonest ways, you know, my response to that is, well, go to hell. I'm going to do what I have to do for the American people. I represent America.
I had hope, man. I had hope when JD was out there and Trump started actually talking like different. He was like, seemed to be switching up on Israel, saying like basically calling Netanyahu crazy and insane. I was like, oh, maybe they finally fucking woke up to the disaster of how bad this is and how much of a mistake they made. And now they're just going to blame Israel. Okay, I'll take that. As long as we stop the stupid fucking war. But again, Israel has so much power over this deal. They knew all they had to do was to bomb Lebanon, and that was it. They could fuck it all up, and they did.
Americans first.
Rogan, so what is going on with Iran? The president keeps saying that a deal's been reached, negotiations have been successful, and then it all falls apart, and then we start bombing them again. This is what's going on, Rogan. He's lying. He's saying this shit. Again, somebody, I forgot who, I think it was Tim Pool said it, and I was like, yeah, he's right. Like, if you would have fucking caught on to the trend real quickly, there's money to be made here, dude. Because it's like, okay, Sunday night going into Monday morning, oh, we're working on a peace deal. It's great. And then he'll say nice things. Iran, we're talking to good people. They want a peace deal, and we're making progress. And I expect we're going to be announcing a peace deal any moment. It's all to manipulate the markets opening on Monday so that the price of oil doesn't go too fucking crazy. And then once the markets close, oh, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. I'm going to bomb them back to the Stone Age. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that's just about manipulating the markets. I don't think there was ever any genuineness there to create a peace deal. I think it was just, let's tell the market we got a peace deal so that the price of oil doesn't fucking go crazy. And it's, to be honest, shady or not, whether or not he's profiting off of it,
760 became
it's worked
a member.
to keep the price down.
Wilson 760 celebrates 11 months of membership. JD Vance, York in the penis Vance.
York in the penis. Is that what JD stands for? York in the penis. Thank you for the 11 months, Andrew. You rock, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, it has worked. So, yeah, there's a lot of shady shit, but it's amazing to me the price of oil hasn't fucking skyrocketed as high as we all thought it would. And that's because they just keep manipulating it. They keep playing this game.
So what is going on with Iran where it seems like the president keeps saying that a deal's been reached, negotiations have been successful, and then it all falls apart and we start bombing them again?
Yeah, so how long do we have here? Because this is a long conversation.
Much time as you need.
So I have to explain a couple of things in the background so you sort of fully appreciate, people fully appreciate what's going on here. So number one, it's a bit of a simplification, but you have two elements within the Iranian system. You have, and you sometimes...
That's another possibility. Bill Strathern says, it's hard to create peace when Israel has the Epstein tape receipts. I mean, that's another possibility that seems like it's there's a likelihood there that, yeah, there is some blackmail on Trump that is forcing his hand. But I don't know if that's absolutely the case, or, you know, I've gone over the theories before, you know, maybe the assassination attempt was Trump going, okay, if I don't play ball with these guys, they're going to fucking kill me. So I better just do what they tell me. Or blackmail by Epstein. Or maybe he's just always a lying piece of shit. And, you know, this was always the plan.
But you have two elements within the Iranian system. You have, and you sometimes hear hawkish Americans say this, that they're all crazy people. They want to bring about, you know, the 12th Imam and the apocalypse and all that stuff. Right. There are people...
Yeah, Lynchpin, I'm not saying cost of gas hasn't gone up. I'm just saying it hasn't gone up as much as a lot of us expected it to. And a big part of that is the manipulation. Let's see. See where it's at right now. Yeah, it's $78 a barrel, crude oil futures. It's not even over 100. I mean, at this point, people thought it'd be 150, 200. Okay. So that manipulation has successfully kept it from going too crazy. Let's look at the 6 months. You know, it peaked out at 112. And then what happened at 112 on Monday, April 6th? Trump came out and said, we got a peace deal. Boom. Next day, 75. Starts going up again. By May 1st, we're back over 100. What happens? What happens on Monday? We got a peace deal. It drops to 77. Up by May 5th, May 18th, it's back up to 104 on a Monday. What happens? We got a peace deal. It's back down to 80. And then since we thought it was over and then, oh, we're draw down and we've reached our 60 days, it's been going down. It got all the way down to 68. And now it's going back up. Now we're at 79. So expect to see more manipulation. At a certain point, though, you would think it'd be like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, where it'd be like, okay, we know Trump's going to say this, but it don't mean shit. And it would have little effect. But it keeps working. It keeps working.
People in Iran who believe that, they're also pragmatists. You've got the crazy people, and you've got the pragmatists, okay? So when we struck this MOU, and really what the MOU says, and it was misrepresented.
Yeah, we got 100. Yeah, guys, if you can't smash the thumbs up. I've kind of given up expecting YouTube to actually push this out. It's like, It is what it is. I have you guys that show up. It's like, yeah, I would like to see the show grow. But if I expect it to grow, I'm just going to be disappointed. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, it is what it is, dude. Yeah. And if I talk about the algorithm, people get triggered. I'm not allowed to talk about the algorithm. It's so crazy. This dude got so triggered about me talking about how the algorithm is pushing Candace like crazy. And I think there's a little conspiracy there. And this guy just kept leaving comments and replying to everybody. He's like, he's always talking about the algorithm. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm sorry that triggers you, but I think a lot of people are fucking not really understanding how big of a role these algorithms play. People always talk about like 1984 and all that shit. Well, what do you think's going on with the algorithms? It's some shit right out of 1984 where they can control essentially what people are being subject to, like what information they're getting, what becomes popular, what becomes trending. I think in 30 years, maybe longer, who knows, people will look back at the shit that's going on with the algorithms and they will probably maybe finally understand how corrupt this modern period is and how controlled everything is with these algorithms. Because we're essentially returning to like the old days where like you're really not having much of a say in what you're watching anymore. They're getting to decide. They decide what's put in front of you and what you're going to watch. And I mean, TikTok's like the worst example. You don't even get to pick the content. It just puts it right in front of you. And that seems to be the most popular fucking format now, is the For You feeds, where it's just like plop, 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 plop. You watch this, you watch this, you watch this. And they've done studies where like people actually get dumber. Their analytical abilities, like they'll give them a little test, and then they'll have them go watch TikTok for 30 minutes and then come back and take another test. And like their cognitive ability goes way down. Like, it's making people fucking dumb. And I don't understand why there's not more talk about, I don't know, getting more access to the algorithm and what the fuck they're doing behind the scenes, because to me it's shady as fuck. But I can't talk about it. People get triggered for some reason. I don't know. They must love the algorithm. They want to suck the algorithm's dick or something. I don't know.
More than almost anything that I've ever worked on in public life. What it says is Iran is going to open the Strait of Hormuz. The violence is going to stop. And then we're going to negotiate to see if we can come to a broader deal on the long-term nuclear issue. That's what we wanted. And what the Iranians wanted, of course, was long-term economic and sanctions relief. Now, here's the problem with where we are right now. And I guess my summary view, Joe, is that I, of course, can't predict the future. I don't know exactly where this is going to go. But I think fundamentally we are on the right trajectory. It's just going to be really messy, and there's going to be a lot of stops and starts. So what happens? The first week after we sign the MOU, we get 20 million barrels a day of oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. That's what it was before the war. The price of oil comes way down. And there are elements, the hardliners in the Iranian system kind of freak out a little bit. They're like, oh, shit. Did we just give away our major leverage point? Screw nuclear weapons. We just gave away the so in this MOU. And so
if you think about it, when cable was at its peak, how many fucking channels were there? Like, I remember having hundreds of cable channels to choose from. I had more like, if you go onto YouTube, how many videos are on your homepage? Let me go to YouTube real quick. 'Cause I don't, like, if you just go right into YouTube, how many videos? They keep making the windows bigger now too. So like when I go onto YouTube, I have 6 fucking videos. Okay, yeah, I can scroll down. Most people don't though. They'll pick something from that top 6. And it's funny how they keep making the video, the thumbnails bigger so that you get less content. So you have less options. So I literally have 6 options for things to watch. Cable from 20 years ago, I would have hundreds of fucking channels to choose from. You had more option with cable now than you do with these algorithms.
There was this kind of freak out in their system. So they shot at a couple ships. We responded. I think that's entirely appropriate, of course. If they're going to shoot at ships, we are going to shoot at the people who are shooting at the ships, or we're going to destroy the facilities that they're using to shoot at ships.
Seriously, I mean, you guys see what I'm talking about here. Go to YouTube, which I'm not a premium. I look at 6 videos. 5. They don't even put a video here. 5 videos. Okay, yes, I can scroll down. Oh, and then shorts. Yeah, get me onto the feed where I have no fucking choice and you just feed me bullshit. By the way, I get tired of having to constantly do this. So like, there's literally, because most people, they're going to pick something right up here. How many people just keep going down and really looking? Now they're going to pick something right up at the top. less options now on YouTube than there used to be on fucking cable television. And then you try to search something, good luck. Good luck with that. Let me close this fucking shit. Good luck with that.
So that happens. Okay, and then the Iranians are like, oh, no, fine. You're right. We shouldn't have been shooting at ships. So then they come back to the table. And there's a few more days of negotiation. And then the phase that they're in right now is the hardliners have really, really reacted strongly to all the oil that's coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. And they've basically said, we're going to try to shut this thing down. We're scared about losing our leverage. Now, the pragmatists in their system are saying this was a mistake. Let's keep on talking. And again, do I know how this is ultimately going to shake out? Of course I don't. But what we're doing is a delicate diplomatic dance where we're using economic leverage points, we're using carrots and sticks, we're trying to talk to the pragmatists, and then, of course, when they commit acts of violence, we're responding to it. And all those things are happening simultaneously to get us on a better trajectory.
None of that is working. I think the right move is just to get the fuck out of there and be like, we're done with operations, Iran. We're going to leave you alone. You know, whatever. And then eventually they'll open the strait up again. They'll eventually open it up. What's keeping it closed is our presence there. And that's just in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll forever keep the fucking strait closed. No, if we get out of there and we stop fucking doing any operations there, that's going to, all on its own, that's going to solve most of these problems. All these problems were brought about by us getting involved and bombing them. Because before we decided to start this fucking epic fury bullshit, strait was open. There was no problems. Everything was working. So yeah, the solution is to just stop and go home. Okay? That's the solution. Now, in my humble, retarded opinion. JD Vance says neocons want Trump to bomb Iran into oblivion. They do not actually have a solution, but we're not just going to bomb and bomb. Well, really, that's what it seems like we're doing. That's exactly what we're already doing. So what do you mean we're not going to do that? We're going to use our military force as one of the many tools we have. I'm biased, but I think that's exactly the right approach. No, the right approach was to never get involved, retard. And to now just go, okay, we can't keep fucking doubling, tripling down. We just got to realize this was fruitless and a mistake. So let's get the fuck out of there right now. That's the answer.
What is their proposal? The people that think you shouldn't negotiate with Iran.
I think that their proposal is to bomb and bomb and bomb. And the honest view, Joe, is that they do not actually have a solution. If you actually ask them, what do you want us to do? What is the goal that you're trying to achieve? You know, they'll say things like, well, just bomb them to oblivion. Okay, we can do that. We can drop a lot of bombs. But what does that accomplish if there's still a crazy person who's still unwilling to shoot a few drones at the Strait of Hormuz? What the president has done, I think very, very capably, is said, we're going to use military force in this situation when it's connected to something we're trying to achieve. So if you shoot at ships, we're going to shoot at the facilities at which you used to shoot at the ships. But we're not just going to do something open-ended indefinitely. We're not just going to bomb and bomb and bomb. We're going to try to use our military force as one of the many tools that we have to solve the problem.
To solve the problem that we created with our military force. To solve the problem that we didn't have before our military got involved. That's genius. He's a fucking genius.
And obviously, like, I'm biased, but I think that's exactly the right approach. I think you have to read between the lines a little bit, because if you look at what Mike Pence or some of the conservative hawks, like people who voted for us but have been very critical of me, very critical of the administration, if you actually look at what they're proposing, they just want the military campaign to go on forever.
Yeah, the ads are so, dude, I had to show, you know, this has not been a good month money wise, so I'm cutting off a lot of services to save money, and YouTube Premium was one of them I just cut off. And my God, dude, the experience on YouTube without YouTube Premium is just it's so dog shit. It's so dog shit. And like I've had Premium for so long. I've been kind of oblivious to how dog shit it is. But it's so dog shit, dude. It's so bad to the point where I'm going to have to get Premium again. Isn't that a brilliant fucking strategy? Like, they make money off ads, and it's like, oh, we can really go crazy with the ads and really make it terrible, because that's just going to make more people buy Premium, and we make money either way. It's so dog shit.
And they can't actually identify what it is that they're trying to accomplish. None of them can identify what it is they're trying.
But now I have an ad blocker but like every video takes like 10 seconds to play. And the YouTube's like, are you experiencing interruptions? It's like, no, I'm just trying to block your stupid fucking ads. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of the ad blocker because I think that's illegal. I don't know. But I will get premium again, YouTube, okay? I just got to get paid first. Fuck's sake, man. Maybe share my shit out to more people so I make more money, YouTube, and then I'll fucking get premium again. How about that? Can we come to an understanding here? Share my shit out to more people, and I'll get premium again.
To accomplish, I'm
going to get it either way because it's so dog shit without premium.
Read two things between the lines. I think some of them
30% K-Mac. They take 30% of super chats, which is still a fucking lot, bro. It's still a fucking lot.
Want us to accomplish a complete change in the government of Iran, to topple the clerics and to replace that.
Super chatted $7.04. Buy GoyTube Premium.
Look, as somebody who enjoys YouTube, unfortunately, I still think YouTube is still got a lot of good content. If you can filter through the bullshit, like, yeah, I'm going to get premium again. And thank you for the $10 Canadian to help me get premium again. Thank you, brother.
Those clerics with somebody who's, much friendlier. But
I don't know if it's illegal, Fryzar, but you remember there was a point where YouTube was like blocking people with ad blockers. Like they really made a hard effort to stop people using ad blockers. And yeah, I don't know if I can get in trouble for saying I have an ad blocker. So I'm just saying I know I'm whatever. I don't know how YouTube's going to react to it. If I'm should even be saying it out loud, But yeah, I'm using an ad blocker right now until I get premium again because I can't use it. What sucks though is like I was cooking today and I pulled up YouTube on my phone and I was like, let me listen to a video while I cook. Oh, can't do that without premium. No, because as soon as your phone locks, the video stops playing. It's so dog shit without premium.
Like, look, what is our experience with doing that? It's
not
awful.
good.
It's not good, right? And so, like, if the Iranian people want to rise up and change their government, that's up to them. But we're not going to send 150,000 ground troops in order to accomplish a change in a regime unless the people on the ground themselves want to accomplish that outcome. Now, we're not going to send the troops in regardless, but like to propose sending in the troops, you're basically saying that the U.S. military should do the job for the Iranian people. We're not in that business anymore. We're just not. And then I think a second outcome that people are whether they're aware.
Now, Keeney, there is a new feature that's pretty cool where like you can skip right over the ad read. I don't know if you guys got it. I noticed on my TV, like if I hit like just one skip, it'll skip right to the end of the ad read. So they are building ways to do that because they don't give a fuck about the creators' ads. They'll make it as annoying as fuck as long as it's their ads they're getting a piece of. But once the creator runs an ad, then it's like, oh, let's come up with a feature to completely skip that.
Aware of it or not, is what I call the Libya outcome.
Which I appreciate, by the way. I'm not complaining.
So if you look at the end result of our Libya policy after Gaddafi was killed by the Obama administration, by the way, again, a very stupid decision. What happened? Libya basically turned into a failed state. You had a refugee crisis. You had people pouring into Europe, pouring into other parts of Asia, other parts of Africa. You had a lot of violence, a lot of terrorism come from that. I do think that there are people who would like that to be the outcome in Iran. But then I say, again, what is in our interest? How is it in the United States' interest to have 94 million desperate people flooding into Europe, flooding into the United States, to have, sort of the terrorist infrastructure?
It sounds like he's campaigning again. This is all the same shit Trump said when he was campaigning. But then once he's in charge, surprise war, surprise war. So it's like, great, you're essentially campaigning again, but we can't trust anything you say because you're a part of the administration that's starting this war. And I still think the way we're going to end up with boots on the ground.
Structure that can get established when you fan.
Probably waiting till after the midterms.
Terrorists.
And I bet you if the midterms are a disaster, the way I think they're going to be for the Republicans, even more guaranteed that they're going to put boots on the ground. Because then they're probably going to be like, well, what do we have to lose? Maybe a war will fucking bring us more support. And there's a lot of reports that Trump thought that. He thought, well, if I start a war, my polling was going to go up. Because remember when Bush started wars, his polls went up. It was like, yeah, that's because 9/11, fuckhead.
All over the world, we've run this experiment before. And so our policy right now, what we're trying to accomplish is get the straits open, ensure the free flow of oil and gas. Obviously,
get us back to where we were before you guys got involved. Brilliant.
Want to keep the Iranians from having a nuclear weapons program and using the tools of diplomacy and military power to accomplish that.
Yeah, that's so great. So we got to fucking use our military to get right back to the situation before we used our military. So we can return to where we were before we got involved. It's genius. You guys are genius. JD Vance, Israel spent a fortune trying to blow up our Iran negotiations. I think we saw this one already. Yep. JD Vance says Republicans helped create the conditions that fueled the rise of socialism in America. He warns that unless Republicans recognize this, America will elect socialist president in the future. I think we saw that one as well. JD Vance and Joe Rogan get into a heated debate about the aliens versus demons issue. Okay. The vice president is extremely candid about his beliefs and goes into great detail about his opinion that these beings are demonic or angelic. Great. Let's see what he's got to say here.
You said something that I thought was very odd.
Okay.
You said that you thought that they were demons.
Aliens, by the way, are demons. Why are you laughing? You're the one that said it, dude.
Okay. I did say that.
What did you mean by that?
Well, first of all, there not just in Christianity, but in a number of world religions, there are a number of mystical things that happened, extra dimensional, extra.
Joe, you need to smoke some DMT with JD Vance right now. I wonder if Joe took him into the fucking isolation tank and gave him a good hit of DMT. Like, you want to see the demons? You want to meet the aliens right now?
Like, I'm not one of these people who's like a hyper rationalist. Like, I think that there are things happening in the world that we're not always seeing. I believe in God. I think that there is a kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not extra real.
Supernatural.
Supernatural. There are supernatural things that are happening. Okay. So, if you look historically at, things that are similar to the alien phenomenon, where, some like strange being, it kind of looks like a human being, but doesn't look like, but it's not human, and it shows a particular interest in human beings.
Grad 6306 super chatted $1.41. DMT is amazing.
Never done it, Crad, because I've watched too much of Alex Jones talking about it, and I don't want to get possessed by some interdimensional demon. I'm not saying I'd never try it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It seems kind of sketchy to me.
And then it takes the human beings and, does weird experiments on them.
I'll just stick to shrooms,
I think my argument is that's either bullshit, right? You're either talking to a crazy person, which I don't like. I'm not saying just because I believe in the supernatural doesn't mean I believe in everything supernatural. But if we're talking about an extraterrestrial being that is human-like but not human, that contains effectively infinite powers and is torturing human beings, you can call it an alien if you want, but I think there's a lot of historical precedent to call that a demon.
Is that true about Connor Murphy? I didn't know who he was, but I saw the reports that he died. Like, he ran into a lake and just drowned in the lake. Like, what, the dude didn't know how to swim? What's going on there? But is that why you went crazy? Did he do too much DMT? I mean, I've heard stories that some people, it's not good for. They kind of, I don't know, man. I mean, I hear both sides of it. Mostly I hear from people that are like, it's the greatest thing ever, and it cured my depression and my addiction, and I don't know, man. I'm for people, people do what they want to do. You want to smoke DMT, go for it. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get one shot by DMT.
Well, a lot of these...
So he went crazy from DMT? I didn't know that.
Stories and these accounts.
We have one right here on the
demonic
on the coaster.
Alien. Yeah, that's the mothership logo. A lot of these accounts are not of people being tortured. They're people that are being exposed to information, like the Travis Walton story is a very famous case from the 1970s.
I don't know this one. I'm going to read about it on the way back, though.
Who's this guy right here? I got a Travis Walton bobblehead. He's one of the most famous UFO abduction stories.
Okay.
There's a movie with D.B. Cooper in the...
And what is the information that they gave Travis Walton?
Was D.B. Cooper that was the... DB Sweeney. DB Cooper was the guy who stole the money and jumped out of the plane. Fire in the Sky. There's a movie.
Oh, of course.
from
Yeah, I remember this movie. I don't think I ever saw it, though.
1993. Good movie, but sensational. And Travis Walton says they made a bunch of shit up, and that's not what happened. But
yeah,
the story was that he was a logger in Arizona, and he was leaving a job. They were all together in a truck, and these loggers saw this light land in this forest, and they went to go investigate. He jumps out of the truck, and he gets close to it.
Yeah, I saw somebody say that that like Looks Maxer that hung out with Clavicular was saying that he became obsessed with gold. That Connor guy that died, and he was basically, he gave himself gold poisoning that made him go crazy. I don't know. Maybe it was the DMT that made him do it though. Maybe he talked to some DMT entities, and they were like, you need the gold. You need to inject gold.
And he's hit by some beam of light and knocked to the ground. They take off, and then
I don't know about DMT, but I want to do some Adderall. The more I'm reading all this shit about ADHD, I'm like, I probably have ADHD, and that might be part of like my struggles in life is I have ADHD, because I keep seeing all these posts on X about what it's like having ADHD, and it's like a lot of that seems like me. So I'd like to just try some fucking Adderall and be like, okay, did that fix me? Am I fixed now? And just see how I feel with some Adderall. I've still never done Adderall.
Realize like we've got to go back. We don't know what's going on. Like they turn around, they go back to get him. They're freaked out and panicked. They go back to get him. He's gone. The police interview them. They think that they killed him. They there's an investigation. 5 days later, he shows up. Wearing the same clothes, and he has this crazy story.
I know it's meth, but apparently, someone's saying stay away from it. Okay, well, but from my understanding, if you have ADHD, it's not the same when you don't have ADHD when you take it. So like, because I literally can drink coffee and get tired. That's a symptom of ADHD. So, Adderall probably would level me out. I don't know, man. I just like to try it once. I don't have an addictive personality where I'm going to get fucking addicted to it if I try it once. So try it once. If I just get fucking feeling like I'm strung out and methed up, then okay, well, it's just meth. But if I feel like all of a sudden, like my brain's working better and I'm able to focus better and I'm not all fucking having all the ADHD shit that I have going on, then, maybe I should do it. I don't know. I'd still like to try it.
And he had been in this spaceship for 5 days, is what he said, and that they had fixed him, they healed him, and then they had communicated with him telepathically, and he had this very bizarre encounter.
It won't help me? Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the advice. I still want to try it once.
With these...
I'm always down to try most things once, except for crack. I've never shot heroin, but I've taken pills that are basically heroin, okay? And, not a big fan, unless I'm in extreme pain. But yeah, I'd still like to try it once. Why not? I'd try speed. Have I done speed? I think I did, but I think I might have done speed one time when I was younger in my teen years. But yeah, I'm always down to try
these beings that aren't from here, or if they are from here, they're very different than us.
Okay, so I guess my response to that would be extra powerful beings, in this case, communicating telepathically, helping people. Sounds like an angel. So I guess
right.
Here's let me make the steel man version of my argument. It's that my dog, there's no real difference between me and God to my dog. I can literally walk into a room and turn the light on. I can make food appear instantaneously. I can transport myself across time and space very, very rapidly.
Yeah, but your dog doesn't look at you as a god, okay? Your dog doesn't even think about it. He's just like, oh, there's food. He's not like, oh my God, this magic man just made food appear. The dogs don't think that way. They're very simple. They're just like, oh, food. I like food. My dog, I don't even think my dog likes me. He just wants to eat. I'm starting to figure that out. Like, my dog is very independent. He gets annoyed when I pick him up and I want to pet him. Like, the only time my dog cares about me is when he wants to go out for a walk or he wants to eat. Other than that, he's like, leave me alone. I'm going to go lay in my favorite spot and sleep. He's not like, oh, this guy's like God. He just produced food out of nowhere. Ooh, look at this electricity. Where did the light come from? He must be God. No, the dog doesn't think that way, dude.
You're a human being with intelligence, but not supernatural intelligence. I guess my point is, again, this could all be bullshit. This could all be fake. That's a possibility. But if it's real, is there really a meaningful difference between an angel or a demon and a space alien with super technology? To our perception, they would largely just look like the same thing.
I think we're capable of nuance. We're capable of understanding that human beings are far more complex and evolved than chimpanzees. And we could imagine a world where if we don't blow ourselves up and there's not a nuclear bomb and we don't get hit by an asteroid, if we live another million years, that we would have technology that's indistinguishable from magic. Right?
Exactly. That's
right.
exactly
that
what I'm saying. And then we could show up on
angels
another planet.
And demons. It just means they're hyper-evolved, advanced civilizations from somewhere else.
And what I'm saying is the perception of those beings to a more simple intelligence.
Sure.
There's not a meaningful difference. So you're like talking about what it is that these things actually are. And I guess what I'm talking about is, how would a human being with my level of intelligence or your level of intelligence in 2026 understand what's going on?
Right, but from a biblical perspective, there's a very...
Bro, the problem with doing an edit of this is, okay, if I decide I want to do an edit of this, because I thought about it, an edit of JD Vance could be interesting. Okay, it's going to be 3-4 days of me clipping it and coming up with an idea and then doing more clipping and then finding fucking other lines I need. And then it's going to be a week before I'm actually even putting the fucking edit together. And that's going to be a week of me not doing any other content and being burnt out from just working on that. And then when I put it out, it's going to get 7,000 views. And it's going to be just a total waste of a fucking week. But you're right. It probably would be a good edit. But it's, there's a reason everybody making that type of fucking editing, those type of supercuts, like the Much Danks, all them, they're all gone now. They all quit. There's a reason, okay? Because YouTube fucking... whatever they're doing, I don't want to say algorithm and trigger people, whatever they're doing in the background is making it to where it's just not feasible to make that kind of fucking exhausting, heavy level of work content just for it to not even reach the fucking people who want it in the first place.
Big difference between a demon and...
but you're right, it would make a good edit.
A hyper-intelligent being from somewhere else.
I mean... a demon or a hyper-intelligent, malicious...
If demons are real, if there really are dark forces in the universe, and they're disembodied dark forces, these things that exist,
yes,
and then there's also powerful light forces in the universe, that they don't have to be mutually exclusive to the concept of hyper-intelligent other species.
Absolutely.
When you're looking at an insanely vast universe.
I don't think they have to be. But I think that it is interesting to me that for most of human history, we would have understood supernatural, hyper-powerful, hyper-knowledgeable things as sort of celestial or celestial.
We would have thought of a cell phone as being sorcery. I mean, that doesn't
Maybe
mean it's sorcery. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just technology. That argument doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
and this is not discounting the possibility of demons or discounting the possibility of angels.
I'm sensing like a different approach by Joe this time. I think he's really, I don't know. I mean, say what you want. I think Joe's kind of hammering him a bit here. I like it. He could have gone harder, of course, but I like it.
Well, I guess I understand your point conceptually. I don't actually disagree with it. So I don't think we're saying something different.
You got to go back to the beginning.
That,
if you want the Alex coverage.
Metaphysically, there could be two separate things going on. There could be there could be extra Earth, outside of Earth space aliens, and there could also be angels and demons. These could be two totally separate things. One could be true and not the other. I totally concede and agree with that point. I guess what I'm saying is it's a distinction that is conceptually interesting to me, but if a space alien with like superhuman technology comes to the Earth and has malicious intent, I don't know how I'm supposed to tell the difference between that and a demon.
If they have malicious intent. But I mean, isn't that also the case with visiting people, right? Like you could have a country and you get visited by the Peace Corps, or you get visited by pirates.
Yeah.
You know, and are the pirates demons? Is the Peace Corps angels?
No, but I think we're talking about something much.
Is it blocking your super chats, Crad? Yeah, I mean, you might be using words or something. YouTube's very, very censorious. It's the most censorious when it comes to the chat. But don't give up. I need super chats. Don't give up, Crad. Find a safe way to say it.
Different.
Are we talking about something different, or are we talking about a hyper advanced version of that?
We're talking about. I mean, as I understand it, we're talking about things that exist outside the United States. Outside of the Earth. Okay. And
Perhaps.
two different types of beings that could exist outside. I mean, okay, maybe
there's a lot of people.
Yep,
who Tim Burchett thinks that they're here.
There's Atlantis, or there's something else like that.
They're somehow or another they're survivors of a.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I do. The one video I saw was so fucking convincing that Atlantis was located where the eye of the Sahara is now. The amount of shit that just lines up with everything we know about Atlantis, like I really do believe that's where Atlantis was. It's now the eye of the Sahara. It's a desert now.
Long gone civilization that live under the ocean.
Yeah,
it's just as kooky as living in space.
Here's the way I would put it: is like there's also a difference between a demon and a ghost, right? These things are two very different conceptual things,
right?
But if I'm a human being and I meet a malicious ghost, maybe I think it's a demon, and maybe. All I'm saying is maybe there's some point at
dude, if you think 1984 is bad, 1985 is even worse, bro.
Which the conceptually interesting, this is such a weird conversation, at which point the conceptually interesting discussion of what it is separate from how it appears to me and how I'm going to understand.
No, I saw your joke. It was pretty funny, Justin 1430. I need you to know something, Joe Rogan. I smoke rocks. Tyrone Biggums. Man, life will never be as good as it was when the Chappelle Show came out. If you didn't live through the early 2000s, the 90s were great, but honestly, the early 2000s was even better. Like the video games that came out, the early internet without all the censorship, without 3 social media platforms capturing all of internet traffic. It was such a beautiful time. And then obviously the Chappelle Show.
And it as a human being in my particular social and cultural context in 2026. But if you're looking for me to concede the point that there is something different or could be something different between an angel, a demon, a space alien, a supernatural, but non any of those other things beings, yes, I concede that.
10 minutes about trying to respond to the demon shit. Joe Rogan gets heated with Vice President J.D. Vance as they expose how California stole the election from Spencer Pratt. This is something I like hearing. It's like, okay, if from all this bullshit, if we could at least get something, okay, we got, our borders are a lot better now. There's less people crossing our border. That's good. We did do some deporting of people here illegally. Okay, that's good. If we can actually reform election laws and have some sort of confidence that our elections are actually, like, our vote fucking matters, that'd be nice.
Like, I'm not saying
I'm not going to hold my breath, though.
To win California in my lifetime necessarily, but I don't like the idea of giving up on it.
Well, it's not just giving up on. I mean, giving up on it would be terrible. It's an awesome state. The real problem.
Oh yeah, not even to mention, y'all brought up GoldenEye, bro. In the early 2000s, we would still go over to our friends' houses and play video games with them. It was amazing. GoldenEye, I mean, that's to me, that goes back to the 90s. GoldenEye, I remember 64, GoldenEye, Mario Kart, getting drunk and stoned with friends. It's just some of the most fun times I ever had. But then the early 2000s, you had some amazing games. You had I would go to my boy's house. We'd play Madden. We'd play Fight Night 3. Fight Night 3 was such an amazing fucking game. You guys remember that boxing game, Fight Night 3? All kinds of fucking just great games, dude. And people would actually get together and play them. And then everything became online. And it's cool. I like online gaming. But there is something about just getting with your boys and just having fun, sitting next to each other, talking shit, playing the game together. Nobody does that anymore.
Problem is, it's deeply corrupt.
Yes.
I mean, deeply, deeply corrupt. And what they're trying to do is make it impossible for the other side to win.
Yeah.
And there should be laws against that. First of all, the idea of mail-in ballots for anybody other than people who are invalids, who can't leave their homes, or military, or people that are, for some reason
Absolutely.
they're serving overseas, they're doing
Yes.
something overseas, it should not be legal.
That's right.
And the fact that it became ubiquitous during COVID
Yeah.
is a giant problem.
Yes.
I never played that one.
6306
I've heard
super
about it.
chatted $1.41. Conker's Bad Fur Day.
That's a classic. A lot of people really like that game, but I never played it.
So this raises one of my
Okay,
total
no crap.
segue here, side point. But so if you remember in the aftermath of the 2020 election, where there was all this like debate about was the election stolen, was the election
Right.
not stolen, all the litigation that moved through, there was a case in Pennsylvania that like didn't get very much attention. And I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but basically it was a guy in a rural area of Pennsylvania saying, you're undercounting my vote because we didn't have the opportunity to do the mail-in ballots like they did in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And like the argument was a kind of disparate impact, right? The cities ginned up all the mail-in balloting and the ballot harvesting. You didn't do that in the country, and that hurt sort of our representation. So they take this case to the Pennsylvania courts. And what's crazy is the Pennsylvania courts basically say, you're making kind of a good point here. Like the ballot harvesting did affect Republicans in a more negative way. It did mean that certain people in the more rural parts of the state were underrepresented. But then the court conclusion was, this is not a problem a court can fix. Like that's a political problem. Change your, local elections leaders, change your laws. Like that's not a remedy that the court has to fix. And so everybody saw that case and they're like, oh, the judge rules against Donald Trump, rules against Republicans for saying that there was something illegitimate. But no, actually, the judge kind of said there is something kind of fishy here. We're just the wrong venue to fix it.
I remember playing the first UFC that came out. That was like probably the last time I remember like getting together with friends and playing a game. All together in the same room. And I just remember how fun it was because I played the shit out of it and I knew how to do every aspect of it. Like I knew how to clinch. I knew how to get people on the ground, do submissions, and I would just, they'd want to stand up and I'd take them to the ground and just ground and pound them. And nobody ever knew how to like do anything on the ground. And that didn't last long. Nobody wanted to play anymore. Fun times, man. Fun times. Well, are the new UFCs any good? I haven't played them. Once it became just playing online, it's like, it's fun. It's fun at the beginning when you're playing people that are like shitty and then you're winning. And then you run into these people who are just straight up cheesers, bro. They're just cheesers. And then it's like, I'm done.
Well, it's just very disheartening that you have to consider the fact that it's really possible that the elections get stolen. And the California one was a big one for me.
And why not just have mail-in, or why not just have voter ID?
Yeah.
You actually
that's
saw
insane. Not only did they not have voter ID,
Yeah.
you can't show your ID. You're not
Correct.
allowed to show your ID.
You can in fact be like prosecuted.
Bro, Dreamcast. Oh my God, you guys are bringing back memories. I remember, what was it, 99? When I had a Dreamcast in that football game. What was it, like NFL 2K, I believe. It's just NFL 2K because it was like around the year 2000. There used to be such a jump in games that you were blown away. I remember just being blown the fuck away on the Dreamcast playing NFL 2K. It was like the first time it felt like you were playing football for real, where like people would actually, because all the old Maddens, like when you threw the ball to the receiver, it would just like go into their chest. They wouldn't actually like reach out and grab it. And then NFL 2K, it was like all the animations were there. You'd see the receiver reaching out, grabbing the ball. I just remember just being blown away so many times by like new games, the next generation console, and the new things the games could do. And now it's like, it's just every year it's the same fucking game. It's the same fucking game. It's so sad. Everything's just been fucking, in-shitification, I think is what they call it. It's like now it's just like, hey, why do we even need to, evolve things to new levels? We just repackage the new shit, the same shit, and sell it again every year.
If you try to force somebody to show their
Which
ID.
seems like you want people to cheat.
Exactly.
And this is from the same people that were saying you have to have an ID that shows you've been vaccinated just 4 years ago
to go to grocery
restaurant.
shopping or to go to a restaurant. Yeah, no, it's definitely, that's the part about it that I think makes most people of my political persuasion skeptical of what the Democrats are doing.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to cheat in the election, then just make everybody actually show an ID. Another thing people don't realize is,
it's true.
I didn't realize this until a couple years ago. The voter ID.
I heard they passed the SAVE Act finally. They probably, tied a bunch of stupid shit with it, but at least they finally passed the SAVE Act. Thank you, Lindsey Graham. I think it's something to do with Lindsey Graham's fucking sanctions on Russia. So on top of sanctions on Russia, we also got the SAVE Act with it. So it's like, okay. Somebody said earlier, we need to ally with Russia and China. I agree. Like, Russia and China, we should be making good relationships and becoming big time allies with them. And we should also, like I said many times before, we should also streamline the immigration of hot Russian women to America as fast as
a lot
possible.
of the mail-in ballot problem, because if you have to show an ID in order to get a mail-in ballot, in order to actually, confirm that there's a real identification attached to that vote, that solves a big chunk of the problem too.
Bro, don't even bring up Counter-Strike Source, bro. I fucking hated Counter-Strike Source because it ruined everything for me. When Counter-Strike Source came out, I was a professional Counter-Strike player at 1.6. I was in Cal Invite. I was at the top of the fucking top. I mean, we weren't like, winning our division in Cal Invite. We were like a bottom rung team, but we had finally gotten to Cal Invite. And then they brought out Source, and I was a brokey, right? We didn't make money playing games professionally back then. I mean, saying professionally is probably not even the right way to say it, because like only Team 3D and like maybe some European teams like SK, like the ones that were like fucking taking home trophies, like they probably had sponsors and made a little bit of money doing it. Everybody else didn't make money. They did it for the love of the game. And then Counter-Strike Source came out, and my computer couldn't fucking do 60 FPS solid after, and with Counter-Strike, you need to be at the top level of FPS. So like with 1.6, you needed 100 frames per second with no drop. Otherwise, you were just not going to be able to compete against the best. And then Source came out, and I couldn't buy another computer. At that point, that's when I retired, and I went to work and quit playing Counter-Strike till like 2018. The Source, I fucking hated Source, dude. Like, there was no need to bring Source out. 1.6 was already fucking great. They could have just kept improving upon 1.6. But no, the same thing they did with Go. People love Counter-Strike Go. And then they brought out Counter-Strike 2. And the same thing with me. I went from a steady 300 frames per second. Now with Counter-Strike 2, with my current PC, I'm like, around 200 frames with occasional drops to like 100 and shit. And like, okay, now I can't compete because now I got to go buy a whole new rig to compete. And it's so Source really fucked things up for me.
Logical.
Yes.
Like, I don't.
A lot of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you were around playing Counter-Strike around that time, and I don't know when did Source come out? I thought it was later than 2004, because I know in 2005 that's when we finally broke through in the Cal Invite. Maybe it was out, but like nobody was really playing it yet. It didn't, like, the scene hadn't moved to Source yet. But once the scene moved to Source, I was done.
I'm not.
Every country
skeptical.
does it.
I'm not skeptical. I'm accusing them. I think they stole the election.
Yes.
Don't give up, MFN Damien. I need the money. Damien says, I fucking give up trying to send super chat, driving me nuts trying to evade their newspeak bullshit. Don't give up, bro. I need that money.
And
yes.
I think it's common.
I know it
and
sucks,
this idea that elections can't be stolen. I always say to people, okay, do you think that the amount of election fraud is 0%? No one thinks that.
Yeah.
No one thinks it's zero.
Exactly.
There's always some overzealous person that works.
So it wasn't that we attended attorney, Nizwar. We actually made it to the highest levels, right? So it's funny because now if you say Cal, people don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. But back then you had CPL. You had like some small tournaments, but the tournaments weren't all year round. You had like 2 big tournaments every year. Well, I guess they would call them majors now. You had winter CPL and summer CPL. And then Cal was like the online league. And we did good at a CPL. We beat
Damien
a invite team.
super chatted $5. It won't let me type the super chat I want, but if this goes through, will it let me post it in the reply? Testing.
Give it a shot, MFN Damien. Thank you for the 5, brother. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you still sending it because, yeah, I need whatever support I can get these days, man. Okay, every dollar counts. Thank you so much. Yeah, I say pro because we reached the highest levels of the game. I don't know what it would be now. ESEA invite would be like the similar, comparison. But yeah, we did really good at a CPL. I mean, we did good in the sense that we beat an invite team at CPL Winter in 2004. I've played the video. It's still, you can find it. Winter CPL Thursday date part 2 or something. It's like the last
super
game.
chatted
It's my old team.
$7.04. In GTA Online, I was tied for number 1 in the fighter jet battle for years.
Nice.
We both had 0 losses. One day we met in battle. He destroyed me. I was choked, but he deserved it. Buy GoyTube Premium.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, I think people underestimate. I'll be honest. Me becoming really good at Counter-Strike set me up very well for when I went into the workforce and took on a career. I don't know what it is, man. It's like the amount of work I had to put in to get that level at that game. It gave me a lot of confidence at other things, but it also gave me probably abilities. Like it trained my brain to do difficult things and to think analytically on the fly. And like people, you know what, maybe it's not so much this way anymore, but people used to see video games sort of as like brain rot, and some games are, but there are some games that like do improve your brain power, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I feel like Counter-Strike did that for me. And that's why I picked it up again, because I'm getting older and I'm like, you know, it'd probably be good for my brain to play Counter-Strike again. And I've been having fun with it, even with all the fucking cheaters in Counter-Strike 2. And the cheaters are off the fucking charts. Valve, please fix your fucking cheating problem, for fuck's sake, dude.
Somewhere that's doing something. There's always crazy people that like blue no matter who.
It did work. Okay, I'll read your reply then. Can we get an AI vid of his wife in a cage match against Chocolate Cheeks? Call it Hindu versus Dindu. I bet you it's the Dindu part. I bet you they don't like Dindu. Because it's like racist, right? You can't say, I bet you Dindu is the word that they blocked it. Or maybe Chocolate Cheeks. I don't know. Counter-Strike isn't hard. Yeah, it is actually, Deco. When you get to a high level of Counter-Strike, it's very difficult. It's not hard if you're playing a bunch of idiots in a casual. It's hard when you're playing a team that practices every fucking day and has strats, and you got to outthink them, and you got to fucking think on the fly, and you got to be able to piece together so much shit that's going on. It's definitely good for your brain. I really do think it is.
Got to win, or red no matter what. There's always people, right and left, that are going to try to rig the election because they think it's imperative. Look,
I can't stream GTA 6 Genetic Jabber because it's going to be on console. I don't have fucking console. I'm not going to play it on console. I'm going to wait till PC. So when GTA 6 comes out, I'm going to try to ignore it as long as possible so I don't get spoilers and already know what the story is, which is going to be hard until it comes out on PC, because I'm not going to play it till it comes out on PC. And then I'll probably stream it.
We saw there was people like Oprah Winfrey was saying it. Like, if we don't win this election, you may never vote again. Like, What the fuck are you talking about? Like, why? Who's going to tolerate that? Left or right? That's crazy.
That's right.
But that attitude allows people to justify cheating.
Correct.
And I think they cheat. And I think they've been doing it forever. And I don't think there's any other reason why you would have no voter ID. And they try to say, oh, it's racist to have voter ID. Like, what are you talking about? Do you think other races are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
Yeah, that's racist. It's actually super racist.
That's really racist.
Right, the implication of
Then why don't we make the DMV easier? Okay? Because the DMV fucking sucks. Why don't we just make it easier and less bullshit, okay? Make it easier for people.
Their argument is literally like...
They literally made it harder after 2020. Like in Texas now, you used to just be able to fucking show up and wait in line to get your, like, if you need to renew your license. Now you have to, like, make an appointment ahead of time, and the appointment will be, like, 3-4 months out. Like, it's because my dad's license expired, you know, and it's hard to get my dad out of the house. They'll make an exception for, like, an elderly person who, you know, my dad can barely walk, so they'll tell right away, okay, this guy needs special treatment. But you have to show up the moment it opens, and then they'll set you up that day. Otherwise, you got to set appointments for everything's getting worse, dude. Every fucking piece of society is getting worse. And it's like, oh, everybody says that. Oh, it was so much better in my time. But it literally was. And I don't think you can deny that, okay? Go look at how much it cost in the 90s to own a house, all right? Things were better, and things are going to shit. That is just reality.
blacks and Hispanics cannot go to the DMV to get an ID. By the way, if you look at the polling, black Americans are as pro-voter ID. Even though most black Americans vote Democrat, they're still pro-voter ID as much as white Americans is.
Most Americans are voter.
So
they want voter ID, except for operatives.
So I'll offer on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, I remember watching a video where a guy went, I think, to New York and asked a bunch of black people if voter ID, if getting your driver's license was racist, if they had any problems getting their driver's license. They're like, "What the fuck you talking about?" Black people think it's ridiculous. It's obviously the only reason they're doing this and making this stupid argument that doesn't hold up is because they want to cheat, and they are cheating.
Cast this deal as vice president of these United States, that if Democrats really,
well, it wouldn't be a driver's license, Necro. He's not driving anymore. It would be an ID. I need to get him an ID because, once your driver's license expires and you try to use it as an ID, everybody's like, "Oh, we can't accept this because it's expired." It's like, it still proves who he is. But no, it would be he's not driving anymore. He can't drive. It would be a state ID. Just an ID.
Don't think that there's any cheating. Give us voter ID.
I just don't know
Give
how
us voter
it's
ID,
not.
and we'll stop talking.
Why
so much
is that
about
not
elections.
a federal thing?
We are trying to make it a federal thing.
We got more of this shit never ends. Vice President JD shuts down the claim that President Trump was blackmailed. We saw that already. Candace Owens talking about something bad happening to Erica Kirk. Oh, she would love that, wouldn't she? By the way, like I said earlier, I don't think Candace Owens actually likes Charlie Kirk. I think that she hated him, and I think when he died, they were probably on the outs, and he was just trying really hard to keep her from fucking going batshit crazy on him. And man, if Erica Kirk got killed, boy, she could do another 2 years of shows on that one.
Is it possible that to deal with this, they're going to kill Tyler? Or they're going to make up some plan and pretend like Erica couldn't deal. She was overwhelmed. And then they're going to go, "Oh, we're pinning it on Candace. Now we also have the dial back speech laws." Doesn't that seem like they're kind of setting the stage for that? All of the usual suspects coming out with something that does not pass the sniff test because no one deals with more online attacks on a daily basis than me.
Me. Than me. Yeah, you also have the biggest show. So it comes with the territory. I get attacked all the fucking time, and I don't even have a big show. I got probably one of the smallest shows you could possibly have and still have viewers. And I get attacked. Go read my comment section. It's all my content just goes out to people when it's live, people show up that like the show. And I get good comments and support. After it's done being live and it goes out as a video on demand, it's all people who hate me. And it's all just comments of people nitpicking. Like, I screwed up, okay? What people will do is I could be right about 99% of what I'm saying, and then the 1% I get wrong, they'll focus on it. Like, I didn't really think it through when I said, "Oh, he engraved the bullet with the Dremel, and that could probably affect the fucking flight path or whatever." But I didn't think about it that much. It just was a fucking brain error. And it's like, oh, someone pointed out in the chat, he only engraved the casing, so it wouldn't affect the bullets. I went back, I looked, I go, "You're right. It's only the casing. You're 100% right. I was wrong." But of course, all the comments are just like, "Oh, this idiot thinks the view," and it's like, I misspoke. It fucking happens. Nobody's perfect. You try. I don't have a team of people fact checking everything I say and having talking points and notes. And I'm just here talking off the cuff for 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. Sometimes I'm going to make mistakes. And it's like, yeah, oh, it's so frustrating. I need to be perfect like Candace. I need to be perfect like Candace and never make any mistakes. The Candy Army is so fucking annoying. They're so fucking annoying, bro.
Tens of millions of dollars is being spent. I am listed, me and Tucker Carlson, in the FARA docs. They're admitting it. They're not hiding it. We have to take down Tucker and Candace Owens, and we're willing to spend the money.
By the way, Tucker thinks that Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson. So maybe Tucker's in on the conspiracy as well. Candace, you ever think about that? What a lovely freeze frame of Candace. Oh, she's so sexy. She's so sexy.
To do it. And yet nobody makes a report and says, if Candace, anything happens, if anyone says anything about Candace, they're digital assassins. They don't put somebody else in a scope. What gives? It feels to me like it could be the beginning of a plot, a government plot. We can't win this thing. We need to get influencers, independent journalists off of this entirely. We need a big event that allows us to crawl back speech. Think of it like 9/11. 9/11 happens, and then it's like, well, we got to take away your freedom. We got to get this bill passed immediately. Take your shoes off and belts off at the airport. And now the government is allowed to spy on you because this terroristic event happened and we're doing this for safety. I feel like that needs to be said, that people are sensing that that's their plan here, you know, to pull like, you know, Erica got harmed by someone or Erica harmed herself. And this, none of this would have happened if it wasn't this culture of quote unquote digital assassination.
But you've been digitally assassinating Erica Kirk. Look, I get it. She's weird. She's cringe. She's all this. I don't think she had anything to do with murdering Charlie Kirk. But you've been insinuating that she's involved with murdering Charlie Kirk. So you've been digitally assassinating her character. And if something was to happen to her, there could be a solid argument as to you're the reason why. Because you've made all these deranged people believe that she's some fucking crazy witch behind the scenes, just like pulling the strings, running some sort of child sex trafficking operation, like all these weird conspiracies about her. And somebody said, Joe Crawfish, what's up, Joe, said, it's so sad to me that she has the biggest audience, apparently. It is sad. It's very blackpilling to me, but it's to be expected when you realize that we are literally living in idiocracy right now. We are in the idiocracy. It is fully established. It is not something to think about in the future. We are in it right now. So expect it. Expect the biggest idiots to get the biggest voices. The candy army. I feel the cringe in my balls. Well, the candy cult. We'll call it the candy cult. Chuck Schumer appears to let out loud fart on Senate floor. Okay.
Now on Iran and the NDAA. The American people need to know, of course.
It was his microphone. It was just a microphone malfunction. That sounds like he fucking ripped apart there.
How and why this chaos is spreading through their streets, and we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now on Iran and the NDAA.
I think we need to investigate your asshole to see what the fuck's going on there, buddy. You can't even make it through a little speech without ripping one? Yeah, he might have what my old tennis coach. I had an awesome tennis coach, man. He was really old. You know, it was a small school, so they didn't have... the only reason we had a tennis team is because that guy just refused to retire. I think he was probably in his 80s, and he was still... I don't know how old he was when we were doing it, but he had to be in his 80s. And he would just like... He was still fucking good at tennis, though. He would still beat us kids. He would still like beat us, like, because he had skills. And he would sit there and he would like show us all the grips. He'd be like, now this is the Australian grip. He had like an old school Southern accent. It was so hilarious. Now this here is the Australian grip. And what we do, and then he would hit the ball and fart. Like he had got to the point where like you have that problem where the muscle that controls the sphincter, where you could hold in a fart, was just gone. So he would just, and he wouldn't even, he'd act like nothing happened. He would just carry on while he was ripping farts. He was a lovely man, though. He really was. We still, you know, even with all that, we all still loved him because he was a good guy. But yeah, I guess he's got that. He lost sphincter control.
And all the Trump administration can say about his disastrous war with Iran is that Vietnam was worse. A point Trump made yesterday, he reveals the scale of his failure. This is what Donald Trump said.
I thought he was going to fart again.
The only thing he can say is Vietnam was worse. Oh, my God. Now on Iran and the NDAA.
That's got to be a fart. I don't think you can say that was a microphone malfunction. There's nothing rubbing against the microphone. You just straight up shit your pants right there, didn't you? This is crazy. The guy who got murdered, who got shot at the Butler assassination attempt, Corey Comparatori, his wife is starting to get really suspicious about Trump covering this shit up. And I don't blame her.
None of this was fake. I'm tired of hearing that. It was not fake that day. President Trump got shot. Unfortunately, he got killed. And I don't want anybody to forget that. And I was looking right in his eyes when it happened. So I don't want people to forget that. And that we struggle every day. Still. Because we don't have answers.
Looking back on that day in Butler, what do you think the Secret Service got most wrong?
Everything. They didn't pick up the radios. They had no communication. They had no communication with the outside.
Yeah, I read it last episode. 100 something communications about crooks that they apparently missed. I guess that, you know, they were on the wrong channel or they had their fucking radios turned off or whatever. Like they weren't communicating with the local police, and that's apparently why like nothing happened and this guy was able to get on the roof. This so that whole thing is so fucking suspicious to me.
None.
I read in that report that there were 102 calls, radio transmissions that were missed.
Yep.
It says, instead, we found that Secret Service received only 5 phone calls and 3 text messages about crooks. So they're admitting they got 5 calls and texts and they didn't do anything. But what's your reaction?
My reaction is, why?
Yeah, but what if just 1430? What if chain smoking actually helps you to live longer? I know it's a crazy idea. Crazy idea. But what if all of that is just a psyop and nicotine is actually like has health benefits that might help you live longer? So in that case, maybe you should quit smoking so that the next time COVID comes around, it'll actually kill you.
Why?
Obviously, I'm just joking, guys. Cigarettes are bad. Don't smoke.
Why wouldn't you have reacted from one?
Do this instead.
I mean, if they would have held him back off that stage and not let him go, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today.
Crooks himself remains shrouded in mystery. Authorities still haven't publicly identified a motive for his attempted assassination.
That is sad, though, because like that guy's death should have been prevented as well. He should have never had the opportunity to get on that roof. Just like Tyler Robinson should have never had that opportunity to get on the roof and take that shot. Complete failure in security. And her husband would still be alive.
Of President Trump. You've expressed belief that the gunman, Thomas Crooks, didn't act alone.
I don't believe there was another shooter there, but I believe that he was working with somebody. I believe it was an inside job inside the government somewhere.
And this was political?
Oh, yeah.
Political.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Have you seen evidence to that?
Oh, I've been told things, but I've had something that happened with me that just afterwards, and you're starting to put the pieces together, it just made total sense.
What will help give you closure?
When the people who put this all together that day are caught and it comes out.
So if you had a message for President Trump, what would it be?
Don't hold your breath, sweetheart. I feel really bad for her. I mean, she's a real victim. Her husband murdered just for showing up at a political rally. But yeah, you know, JFK was 63 years ago. We ain't got answers on that one. We ain't getting answers on this one.
Just to don't forget us and remember what we went through that day. You know, we're still here and we need answers.
Helen Comparator says it was a year before the Secret Service actually reached out to her. The questions that she did ask, she says they didn't answer them fully, and
that's insane. A year?
She's now pleading, reaching out to President Trump, hoping that he will intervene, apply pressure, so she can get answers as to what happened here and why.
I don't blame her, man. I mean, this is how a lot of people feel. This shit doesn't add up. Doesn't add up at all. A 36-year-old man in Colorado is suing the hospital where he was born for allegedly switching him with another child at birth. You got one job, not to mix up the babies, and you mixed up the babies. That's crazy. So this guy lived his whole life with another family, kind of going like, something's not right here. And then he finally did a DNA test and found out, yeah, these aren't my parents. Bro, what a fuck up, dude. I mean, you got to find the person that made that mistake and put the wrong name on the, I don't know, how do you do that? You like mix up the paperwork or something? That's insane.
I know I definitely wouldn't be here in Colorado today if I would have went home with the right parents, I'd be working.
Oh, and he was destined to live a life in Colorado? I mean, Jesus Christ, how terrible is that? Hopefully it wasn't Denver. Hopefully it was like Grand Junction or, you know, one of the nicer places in Colorado.
Working the farm with my older brother that I never knew I had.
When you feel like you don't fit in, being switched at birth is probably not your first thought.
I never would have guessed.
But Jeremy Morrison says he has always felt different from his family.
But I didn't have anyone that looked like me in my family. I was that blonde-haired kid that stood out in a family full of brown-haired people.
And 2 years ago, at 36 years old, he finally found out why he felt that way when
We got the DNA test back.
Morrison says that test showed his parents were not actually his parents.
I know I definitely wouldn't be
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
here in Colorado today.
Yeah, I spent some time in Grand Junction. Hopefully I'm remembering the name right. It was nice. I liked it. I stayed at this old hotel that used to be like really a nice hotel, but by the time I stayed there, it was old and kind of run down, but it still had like, you know, room service and shit. And I just remember just like the smell of pot every time I went to the hotel. I wish I could remember the name of that hotel, but it was like a great deal, like $40 a night or something like that. And I liked it. It was, you know, there are parts of Colorado that were really awesome. I fucking hated Denver.
If I would have went home with the right parents, I'd be working the farm with my older brother that I never knew I had.
Morrison says the man he was switched at birth with, Kyle Boleyn, was born just out.
Oh, how do you mix up those two people? This guy's ugly as fuck. That's probably why the parents didn't say anything. They're like, oh, we got the pretty baby. Oh, don't give us the ugly baby. Don't give us the baby with the big weird fucking head. Oh my God, I thought the weird head baby was ours. Thank God we got the good looking baby.
Apart from him on January 26, 1988, at the same hospital in Grafton, North Dakota.
I believe we were the only babies born that day.
Morrison.
There's only 2 babies and you mixed them up. Maybe if there was like 100 of them, you could be like, okay, I see it got confusing. There was only 2 babies. You had one job, not to mix up the 2 babies.
Boleyn, along with their parents, are suing Unity Medical Center, saying the hospital switched the 2 men as babies. Records show the hospital denies the allegation, and the establishment tells me these births happened decades ago, and none of the same people work there anymore.
No, it's not our problem. Not our problem. I think that's probably a huge lawsuit he should win.
Quote, while we deeply sympathize with the men and their families, we have found no evidence to support claims that Unity Medical Center or its staff were responsible for what occurred.
Then who is? If you're not responsible, then who is? Of course they're going to say this. They're going to lose in court.
Me and Kyle didn't grow up in the same areas. Like, we couldn't have gotten switched at daycare or anything like that. That's both me and my dad's.
Morrison says he is spreading awareness so people know this can happen.
If you feel like you look different than everyone else, there might be a reason for it.
No, most likely your mom fucked the fucking mailman. So yeah, Candace is all about the bloodstained microphone now. So Ben Shapiro does this meme, Charlie Kirk gets murdered, get in there and make it about you. And then she responds, did they allow you to hold his bloodstained microphone like you so giddily declared? Did you want it because it's likely what exploded and killed him? How do people take this seriously? I don't understand it. What is this? Oh yeah, now the latest conspiracy, which has already been proven to be false, is that Nick Shirley is like cousins with Tyler Robinson. That they have like his mom and Tyler Robinson's mom are sisters or some shit like that. Turns out to be a bunch of bullshit, but everybody ran with it. And then now, like, basically people are insinuating Nick Shirley had something. Dude, who's not going to get blamed for killing Charlie Kirk? Like, the list of people that have been blamed for killing Charlie Kirk, it's long. It's never ending, bro. It's like every month, every week, it's like, okay, well, that one's not, doing well anymore. We need a new person to blame for his death. And now it's Nick Shirley. Wonderful, dude. Wonderful. But yeah, Nick Shirley came out and basically posted his family tree to and then the original post was already deleted because, yeah, they were fucking falling for some bullshit. And Jimmy, come back to reality, Jimmy, please. You need to start smoking weed again, Jimmy. I think this is a problem. Did Jimmy start smoking weed again, or is he still not smoking weed? Sometimes you're actually smarter smoking weed, Jimmy. Okay? The thing is, like, you can be a little more analytical and like kind of think a little deeper about things when you're smoking weed. Like your confidence is a little less because you're like over analyzing things, and sometimes that can be bad, but sometimes it can be good because you can catch things and catch yourself being an idiot. Jimmy needs to start smoking weed again, bro. And the community note. People act like community note is like God came in and put a community note. No, the community notes are being gamed like crazy right now by the candy cult. So who gives a fuck about the community notes? They're already fucking useless. It's already being gamed. Tucker Carlson in a new interview contradicts Candace Owens and says he believes Tyler Robinson is the shooter. Okay, it's time for you to start attacking him, Candace. Maybe he took the 7K, Candace.
You know, it is possible to identify. This is just a fact, okay? Anyone who says it's not a fact is lying or ignorant. It is absolutely possible to identify borderline personalities online using algorithms and identify them in the comment section, for example, and encourage them to commit assassinations, So that clearly that happens. And so all this talk about, you know, did Tyler Robinson do it or whatever is not, yeah, okay, I'm sure he did. That's not really the question.
Okay, well, it is the question. I mean, maybe you need to have Candace on and talk about it, okay? She'll set you straight.
Right. Was anyone else involved is the question. And to watch the entire, a bunch of people I know and like, and they've all been sucked into this kind of prima facie meaningless conversation or debate over whether he did it. I'll grant that. I mean, I don't know. There hasn't been a trial yet, but like, wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm certainly not emotionally invested in claiming Tyler Robinson didn't do it. I'll tell you that. What I am emotionally invested in is finding out what the full scope of what happened.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. Clearly, all the evidence points to who the shooter was. To me, it's we know who the shooter was. We know who killed him. The question is, what else was going on behind the scenes? Was there people manipulating him to do this? Was he connected to Antifa in a way? Because apparently there's some legitimate, you know, reason to believe that Antifa might be connected to Tyler Robinson and might have put him up to this. Like, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. But to keep doubting that Tyler Robinson was the guy on the rooftop who took the shot, like at this point, you're just denying reality.
And right. So the question is, was anyone else involved? That's not a difficult question to answer. And it's not a difficult line of inquiry to pursue. It's not being pursued. And so I have a right to be enraged by that, which I am. I'm enraged as a friend of the person who was murdered. I am. I feel that way with the Butler assassination.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
first of all, let me just say, as a factual matter, it is easier than ever to inspire crazy people
to
commit assassinations without them knowing why they're doing it.
Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And he was not murdered for his opinions on transgenderism, obviously. He was, I believe, most likely murdered for his evolving views on Israel.
Okay. Health officials, and this is crazy because, you know, they got this fucking thing going around that's causing diarrhea. And the joke at the beginning was like, oh, yeah, it's Taco Bell. It turns out it might actually be Taco Bell. Health officials are reportedly investigating whether Taco Bell restaurants played a role in one of the largest U.S. outbreaks of an illness that causes intense diarrhea. Apparently, it might have something to do, allegedly, this is what they're saying, I'm just reporting. Don't sue me, Taco Bell. Something to do with their lettuce. It's funny because it's funny when memes become reality. Everybody's like, "Oh, there's a fucking a virus going around that's making everybody shit their brains out." Oh, you mean eating at Taco Bell? Hilarious. Okay, this is great. Russia trains their sex spies to give the perfect blowjob. This is what I'm saying, dude. Look, if we gotta decide between Chinese spies and Russian spies, let's bring in the Russian spies, okay?
The perfect spy blowjob. That's one of the most important skill any woman can have.
I agree. You don't even need to be a spy. It's still the most important skill.
Like many techniques, but one of the most important is deep throat technique is one of the most desirable thing any man want to have. There's certain things you have to know before actually doing it, otherwise it will be painful for man. Also, it can be painful for your throat. There are techniques to learn before doing that, because otherwise your husband would hate it. So when you do it, try it maybe at least on a banana or even like plastic dildo, because like before performing on human body. Because it can be really painful. So it has to go on top of your mouth. And at the same time, you do like breathe.
Are you paying attention, real Justin Lewis? This might be good for you in the future so you can know how to deep throat a cock the proper way.
And then you swallow it. And also your head has
to seem like a cock gobbler.
To be like 90 degrees angle. Otherwise, if you do like any other angle, it will be painful for you. Then in porn, like women are laying on the bed and then the man on top of her, like, you know, basically doing this kind of like oral sex.
But
no,
that's not
no,
good.
and no. You say it and he stands. For example, this is like 90 degrees.
Wow. This is why I love this podcast, is because I never thought I'd be having these conversations.
I fucking love this podcast. Is that, what's her name? Mariana or something? She's the one that like always goes to South America and like gets in with the cartels and like gets all this crazy footage. She's been on Rogan. I did an edit of her on Rogan. Maybe I should pull that up. Let me find it. Let me find her edit. We'll have some fun. I'm in it for the long haul tonight. Yeah, I gotta check her podcast out if this is the kind of shit we're gonna see on the podcast. I don't remember the title of it. I gotta search for it. What was the title of it? Let me find it. I know it was part of the Ultimate Ladies Man series. I think these really did get me in trouble. Christina P. and Tom Segura got a divorce. I hope nobody blames it on me. Not my fault.
I saw you look at them.
You're fucking hot. You look great. I love your big natural tits.
And anyway,
I love them to death.
What are you doing?
I care about them very deeply.
Good. Enough.
That's what we need.
Enough. Just chill the fuck out.
Can I tell you I jerk off to them?
No.
It's romantic. Let's fuck like wild animals.
No, dude.
Let's do it.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Like, it's a bonding thing. It's a...
I'm married. I mean, are we done?
He's a fat guy with a giant gut. He's pregnant.
Oh, stop.
Look at him. That is a pregnant man.
That's not
People
right.
that are overweight are repulsive because they're not healthy. You don't want a man that's going to have a fucking heart attack.
I love him.
Yeah. Then I'll shoot him and cook him.
What are you talking about?
Shut the fuck up. You know what I do? One of the things that I do? I kill people and eat them. I'm not kidding. I'm fucking crazy. Evil as fuck.
I'm done. Like, I think we're done.
You committed to this. I'm sorry I have to tell you this. You're next.
Shout out to Christina P. and Tom Segura. You know, sometimes things don't work out. They tried. I always liked Christina P. She seems like a sweetheart. Here's the one I was looking for. The one with what was her name? Mariana Van Zeller. It's funny. It's like you see a video and you're like, oh, I made an edit of that back in the day.
You are perfect.
Just having a good time. And
Woo! You can get it.
What?
I feel like it's getting wild. Let's get naughty.
Like, not interested in all that.
Look at this.
The picture that everybody was making fun of him because he had that, what was it, the HGH gut?
And all that.
Look at this. Would you like some of that? I have perfect genetics. Just a stud. I got a gigantic rhino dick. I think you'd love it. Do you feel tempted?
I think she shared this, or she commented on it too. I think, yeah, I remember her. I think she shared it.
Nothing that I would want to try.
Uh-oh.
Fuck it, let's do coke.
I am terrified of drugs.
Just take a tiny bit. Just a little. Just a little.
It's a recipe for disaster, really.
You fool. You're dealing with a fucking murderer.
Let it go.
Oh my God, like you're risking your life, like genuinely risking your life. Do you like living? I'll fuck you up. I fucking kill people. Kill people all the time and eat them.
I am terrified.
Fucking eat it like candy.
You're crazy.
You're about to die. A giant super animal's about to eat you. Well, thank you for your time.
I always like the good classical music with it. Yeah, I don't know. It gave me flashbacks of that. Watching her. I guess she's got her own podcast now. It's doing well. I mean, I like it. Tyler Robinson's Dodge Challenger wasn't at UVU after all. A threat on confirmation bias. Okay, we're skipping that. Oh yeah, this is from yesterday. Or not yesterday, the last show I did. Oh, lovely. You gotta love Candy, huh? All right, yeah, we'll call it here. All the chicks love my show. That woman looks German. Van Zweller, right? That's her name? Van Zeller or something? What's her name? Mariana Van Zeller? Yeah. I think she's like from Brazil or something. I don't know. These age like fine. I mean, they're still so good, dude. That's the problem. Like, people would still love them if I made them, but they just don't get to see them. Okay? That's the problem. That's the problem. The YouTube will not put it in front of the people that want to watch them. So at a certain point, you have to. I can't keep fighting against the algorithm. If they've decided whatever reason. Is Much Dank came back yet? Let me check. I was thinking about checking that the other day. Is Much Dank still gone? It's sad. They killed so many careers.
Adele_Yeffa-67 super chatted $10. Great stream, almighty ping.
Thank you, Jefe.
Play Wicked AI. New Trek's dead. Tear it apart for me.
Wicked AI. New Track's dead. Tear it apart. Okay. I'll pull that up here in a second. Yeah, Much Dank still hasn't returned. That's crazy, dude. He used to have 2 million subscribers. He's just been bleeding subscribers since he's not putting content out anymore. Like, that was really a black pill for me because I used to look at him and go, fuck, man. Why does his shit do so much better than mine? Like, I understand. I think he made great videos, but I was like, dude, I think my shit's just as good. But he blew up to like 2 million subscribers. And I got to 200 something thousand and just like couldn't get much further than that because I stopped getting the reach to like grow that fast. And, but no, they fucking killed his shit too, dude. They murdered his shit. And there was a point where we were like getting the same views and he had like 10 times the subscribers. And at that point, it's pretty obvious. It's like, okay, they just don't want these to get the distribution they used to get. And it's like, yeah, it's the way it goes, man. YouTube, their little algorithm will decide your success. People think everything is like meritocracy. It's not. It's not. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. I mean, you can look at the the Rogan, the Alex Jones Sneeko video. I like beat everybody. Not everybody. I think there was a couple people that were quicker than me. But like, I mean, it's not the same video. I think mine's better. As Too Lazy to Try. I beat him by 2 days. Mine gets 7K. His just blows up to the moon. Like, okay, that makes sense. And there's a lot of instances of that. So, there's a certain point where you just have to accept the reality. You can keep fighting against it as much as you want, but it is what it is. All right, what did you want me to pull up here? The new tracks that Wicked A. Okay, here you go. Here you go. It's for you, El Jefe. Thanks for the support, brother.
Yo, hear that? That's the sound of the holodeck powering up and your studio shutting down. They call my channel artificial. I call it an execution. Welcome to the Real Academy. Time to get schooled. You're smiling for the cameras, claiming everything is fine, but the auditors are looking at Sabrina's bottom line. Your flagship show got bodied by a teenage fucking witch. Watch me take the captain's chair and watch me make you all my bitch. You spend $250 million to put children on the screen. Your villains are food pirates, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I put the crew in leather, gave them all a rockstar vibe. While you made a high school drama, maybe preteens will subscribe. Got Goth Troy looking sexy, riding berry, puffing smoke. You put Klingons in the skirt, I got the doctor doing coke. You got them crying on the bridge and trauma dumping pain. I got them shredding glam rock solos, twerking in the purple rain. Commander Cisco poison planets just to win a bloody war. All these modern kids need therapy before they out the door. Paramount is burning millions just to desecrate the law, while my desktop rendered androids leaving corpses on the floor. You prima donnas call me slop. You stole it. That's not art. I'm the only motherfucker left with Star Trek in his heart. Obese female Jim Hadars, the star of your woke cast. Did you even watch the show before you knew the fucking past? You try to preach a sermon to a fan base you despise and hit the greater ratings with the PR team of lies. You're not a genius, Alex. You're a bird of prey, a vulture, and you pick.
I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but the Next Generation is pretty fucking good. It still holds up.
At the bones of a superior trick culture. You sanitize the franchise just to check a fucking box. Pardon me while I drop bangers with 4 Kirks in all 3 spots. Sky dances, crunching numbers, see the spreadsheets bleeding red. 10 years of Kurtzman, Star Trek, not productions. Fucking dead. First time in a decade, there's no show on next year's slate. Don't be sad, don't take a bow. Sit down, accept your fate. A positronic heavyweight with diamonds on the grill. Just kicked your writer's room apart and moved in for the kill. This independent AI's putting Paramount to bed. The Tin Man's holding up the crown, put it on his head. New tracks, dead. My Android packs the heat. New tracks, dead. Got you bleeding in the street. New tracks, dead. Your chance of love is trash. New tracks, dead. I'm sweeping up the cash. New tracks, dead. There's nothing left to say. New tracks, dead. Disco dance upon your grave. New tracks, dead. You burn the franchise down. New tracks, dead. Now Wicked wears the crown. New tracks, dead.
Yeah, I'm not a rap song, but I can tell it's pretty well. I mean, AI music is fucking. It's insane, man. I think there's just no way we're gonna stop AI music from taking over. I think it's just it's done. I think even like musicians, I think they're gonna use AI to create their songs. They'll be able to perform them and everything. So like you're probably not even gonna know. But I think same thing. Like there's a lot of content on YouTube that's just AI slop, right? And it's obvious it's AI slop. But there's a lot of AI slop people don't even know is AI slop. You know how many creators are using AI to like write their scripts and come up with their ideas? So just because it's an actual person doing the voiceover doesn't mean that it wasn't AI fucking came up with the idea. AI fucking wrote the script for it. And it's like, oh, okay, but it's a real person doing the narration. So it's not AI. No, it's still AI. It's just a real person reading the AI script. So yeah, AI is going to take over, man. And the thing is, it just allows people to have such a fast turnover for content. You know, that was always something that was difficult for me, was being able to, with the supercuts, to make enough content, to make it quick enough to not get punished. Because like if it would take me 2 weeks in between videos, which a lot of times it would, because it would take a lot of work and I'd always want to improve upon it and not rush it out and, you know, give it a couple extra days to come up with even more ideas and fine tune it and all that. And next thing you know, it's 2 weeks between videos. And the algorithm fucking hates that. It wants every day, every day, every day, every day. So then, of course, you just end up to feed the algorithm and have success. You end up just being real lazy and like, what can I do every day? Like, okay, it's same format. It's all cookie cutter. And AI is, you know, perfect for where YouTube's at right now. Because like everybody's going to be able to fucking just pump out content nonstop, never ending, all just AI slop. But yeah, I mean, the song was good. If I really liked rap, I probably would have liked it more. I thought he'd tear it apart. No, the song was pretty decent. I didn't mind the song. I don't hate. I like Star Trek. A lot of those characters. So I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's not my music though. You know me. I'm more of a rock guy. I mean, there's some rap I like, but I'm not huge into rap. So it is what it is. Anyway, much love, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for the support. If you haven't hit the like button yet, if you can on the way out, it's much appreciated. Links are in the description if you want to join the Discord and support the show, all that good stuff. Much love, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode of the Pink Trip Show. Y'all have a wonderful night, okay? Take care.
Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Here's some other videos to watch that you might like or you might not. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified.